Crossover.
Oh, killer crossover.
Just crossover. It just crossed him over nastily.
Another victim to the crossovers. Cross him up and sit him down.
I'll read this.
Great start.
Yeah.
Crossover powered by Everlow Concrete Repair in Omaha at everlowconcrete.com. So Hurricane Milton is packing a punch.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Have you heard about the Hurricane Milton conspiracy theories?
Oh, yeah. We
as someone who
yeah.
may be impacted, you're talking to the wrong person because I'll come at you.
I heard that they were.
I will come at you like a pack of monkeys.
don't do it, Connor. Don't do it.
I heard that they were changing the direction of the hurricane.
They can turn it on whenever they want.
Yeah.
Did you do that? They got the hurricane maker.
Back-to-back hurricanes coming through the state of Florida is not good.
No.
A swing state?
Interesting.
Yep. Don't do it.
Interesting.
No. When I'm trying to
Hanging
figure out
Chad,
things,
that
this is yeah.
Stop.
No.
Boiling.
No. But
good job, Josh.
I will seriously just go off here. If you know, you know. If you live there and you're like, okay, we have to evacuate? Yeah. But so it looks like it's going to make a landfall a little bit north of Sarasota, which is a beautiful area.
It is.
But in the Tampa St. Pete area, I was just asked, you guys ever been to Ybor City?
I
Which
have.
is
I have actually.
So you know what is famous for Ybor City, besides the little party area and some of the best Cuban cigars you'll ever find outside of Little Havana and Miami?
Cuban sandwiches.
Yeah, not bad.
Paella at the Trop.
Well, they have the roosters. So in Ybor City, they have roosters that just walk around town.
That's cool. That's nice.
But someone was wondering.
They're the cock of the walk.
That's cool. That's nice.
If they will go and collect the roosters.
That's a
And
cool
I'm like,
thing.
No, right?
Like they just roosters have to be able to handle the hurricane in their own way.
Yeah.
They go and hide, or they fly away, or they get taken away.
But who's to tell the roosters that there is a hurricane?
Well,
Allegedly.
So this is when I was a rookie living there and going through my first hurricane. And so you learn a lot of things. Okay.
Mhm.
Hey,
So you were a rooster at first,
yeah.
basically.
But I was told like animals, because we had a cat, that a cat and animals can sense like a hurricane. Now, I don't know if that's as good as your conspiracy theory that you guys were just trying to,
I wasn't saying anything.
but I was told like animals, like they sense. Now, I don't know if a rooster
So what do they
says
do? They tell you?
by their actions.
Yeah. What do they do?
I don't know. I think our cat went and hung or hid underneath the bed. And we had a cat.
And so
we had
that's
a
how you
cat-
know the hurricane's coming?
We had a cat 3 roll through. Yeah.
Cat 3.
But I don't know, like the roosters, like, do they get together and they all like hang out somewhere? They hide?
I would hope so.
Or do they say, hey, come pick me up?
It'd be a real detriment to the rooster community if they
Yeah.
didn't have a plan. They had to mobilize.
You got to go to, like,
Especially-
you go early in the morning in Ybor
especially
City.
since they're such prominent
travel tip if
figures.
you're in the Tampa St. Pete area.
Yeah.
You go early, that's all you'll hear in that town is the roosters. Or if you go to Key West, they have the roosters in the street there too.
The
All right.
The hurricane came to snuff the
Josh,
rooster.
Gary.
I have a question because Nick can't convince me that the robot movie that he saw with his son I should go to.
I said it was good. I
I've
said it was
heard it's
fine.
like, yeah.
But I'd be going by myself.
We're
I'd
comparing
be
it to
going by
Joker
myself and
to
it'd be
the
super
musical.
creepy.
Well, yeah. You should go with
But
somebody.
What's this robot movie?
It's called Wild Robot.
Wild Robot.
Yeah.
A person in
Oh,
Gary's
Connor,
situation.
Connor,
would
you
not-
just give yourself a couple of years. You're going to be getting into these movies too.
a robot finds some contraband and has a handgun and goes crazy on the other robots.
Oh, my.
They don't ever tell the kids that that's how it's going to end. So here's
That's
my
the
question.
director's cut.
I feel so friggin' duped by the new Joker movie.
Did you go see it?
No, I
Okay.
want to go see it today because I'm cheap and it's only
Yeah.
cost me $6.
Yeah.
But one, like it opened and they got 21 mil, and then by Saturday Sunday it was down to 6 mil. So the reviews are out and they're brutal. But also, I didn't know it was a musical
Oh, you didn't?
because if
I
you're
didn't know that
watching the
either.
trailer,
No, they hid that quite
that's
well.
BS.
Yes.
right?
The new Joker movie is a musical?
I
Yes.
am Joker. This is my sidekick. Let's wreak havoc in downtown.
Do they
hey!
do kick
Like
lines?
kick line.
You don't hire Lady Gaga and not get some kick lines.
Yeah, you got to get a kick line in there. Maybe a meat suit.
But they're just duping everybody. So people go to it and they're like, this is awful. It's not even close to the first.
That
joke
sounds
in there.
great. It'll be the next Hamilton. It sounds like.
Whoa! Did Hamilton just catch a stray?
No, Hamilton was fine.
I knew Hamilton was a musical, so I don't
Yeah,
feel like I was.
so-
People were listening to the Hamilton songs as music for years
Yes.
and years.
Yeah, that is
What
right.
are you guys doing?
Yeah.
What are you guys doing?
Yeah.
They were rap talking about politics in the 1800s. What are you guys doing?
But why couldn't we start that trend?
It was just they
Rap
just
talking.
talk.
Why-
It's kind of
why-
poetry.
Why couldn't we have J.D. Vance and Donald Trump and Kamala Harris and Tim Walz like rap politics?
Debate rap.
Debate rap.
Oh, a debate rap. Would
They
be
have a
pretty
tough
sweet.
enough time talking.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Connor on this one.
Sorry, that wasn't either side.
That was right down the
So
middle.
when
on
you
that
Yeah,
look
one.
at
both
the-
sides.
Yeah, I'm not going to try.
But then we could have hot takes about, well, if they can't rap, then they can't be our president. Because what happens?
Can't
when
even rap.
What happens when you go to China? I mean, you should be able to, or you're at the UN and you're trying to appeal to all countries.
I don't know what you're saying.
Does rap appeal to all countries?
State of the Union is done via rap. Starts out with a.
But you're right. People
Ladies and
did listen to
gentlemen,
Hamilton. The
Kendrick
soundtrack.
Lamar.
The soundtrack was great.
Oh, it was
Have
right.
you seen Hamilton in person?
I did. Yeah,
You were impressed.
it was fine. It was
You're
good.
probably like,
It was a good show.
Because it comes to Omaha every 6 months now. I want to go again.
I saw it at the Orpheum. This is probably COVID. I was wearing a mask, I think.
Really?
Yeah.
One of those people.
I don't know if that'd be
I
fun
mean,
to
it
see
was
Hamilton
it
during
was the
COVID.
law. It was required. It was simply
Josh is on one today. Conspiracy theories.
I sat in the first. It was like the first row of the loge level or whatever. Not enough leg room. Those theaters are built like
Welcome to the Orpheum Theater.
yeah. Those theaters are not built for today's person.
What if they have it? What if the next performance is at the Steelhouse?
Oh, Josh would go.
Looking at you, Josh.
Didn't go when it was at Orpheum.
Okay. All right. So you definitely wouldn't go if it's at Steelhouse.
Wouldn't go to the 9-seat arena that is the Steelhouse. It's an intimate venue.
It is.
We don't
It
have
is.
enough of those.
It is. We don't. We need more.
Well, I mean, if we had like a medium venue, then comedians who think they can sell out the Chai would not
Oh.
go to the Chai and they'd go to the medium venue.
And that's enter Steelhouse.
You're taking food out of Nate Bargatze's kid's mouth.
He's good. He's gonna do SNL now. They should just put
Did
him
it
on
last
the
week.
yeah, just put him on the cast. I guess.
But the other popular comedian that was in the movie with De Niro, Sebastian.
Maniscalco.
Yes,
Maniscalco.
so he'll be here in December and he's at the Chai. And I'm like, is he still big enough that he can? I mean, you got to put 14 grand in there.
Mhm.
Like Seinfeld is going to be there in January.
You gotta
With
fill
Jim
it up.
Gaffigan.
Yeah, Jim Gaffigan. We're going to that.
Can Seinfeld do 14K?
Yes.
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 Seinfeld and Jim Gaffigan.
Yeah, that will be.
Okay.
That will be.
Seinfeld
bang
alone.
out.
Seinfeld alone could fill up the Chai.
I've only seen Seinfeld in like lead center size.
Yeah, he did
building.
Orpheum.
I saw him at the Orpheum.
Yep.
Okay,
did
so
that.
that's a perfect size for a stand-up comedian.
Mhm.
Why'd you
Big-
perk up there?
Well,
Big
they
house.
were showing stats that I liked.
Oh.
They were showing stats that I liked.
I think you should like 4.2.
I'm just glad that there is a network that is happy to be impartial about what happened, the occurrences that happened last night.
What are you
Because-
jiving at?
Because it wasn't TBS, that's for sure.
What are you getting at?
I just need Bob Costas to leave. Please. Please go away, Bob.
It's not his fault.
It is. It's Bob's fault. It's Bob's fault.
I'm so happy I had
Oh.
Joe Buck and Troy Aikman
I
sound
thought-
on and not that.
I thought that Bob was a professional. Like, I know he's been a Yankee fan his entire life, and I know he grew up on Long Island, but my God,
I think now he's just leaning into it.
he shouldn't. He should probably try to go
Yeah.
back to being partial.
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
It's not his fault. What? Say it again.
It's
Sorry.
embarrassing.
It is.
It's so unprofessional.
It's very bad.
In case everyone thinks, oh, Connor, the Royals fan, is caping up for the Royals. No, that was awful.
It was bad.
That was awful.
I didn't even
Thank
hear it
you.
until this morning because again, I made what I think is the correct choice
He doesn't.
between Joe Buck and Troy Aikman and the sound of that game on.
You were listening to a real
I
baseball
was-
man.
Does he
Yes,
know
doing football?
that like, I mean, it's got to be 90% of the public who's watching this game is probably rooting against the Yankees. They're rooting
Yeah,
for the
So-
Royals.
Okay,
Yankees
so
lose,
he
America
took
wins.
the underdog role.
He's.
That's what you're saying.
I was saying he's alienating his audience.
He's 72 and he does not give a bleep.
No, he's like Al Michaels now.
They trot me out for the ALDS and the ALCS, and then I'm done.
I went
back to
enjoy Kansas City.
I went through the exact same experience in 2022 with Cleveland and the Yankees.
The CNN reads put him in a bad spot, though.
The Royals were lucky enough in their 2 other division series. I believe they had Ernie Johnson for both of them, or maybe they had Brian Anderson for one of them in 15.
And Brian Anderson, yes,
Brian Anderson's good.
Yeah,
him and Frenchie.
Ernie has been away. He'll make it. He's been gone for like 3 or 4 months, so he'll come back with NBA on TNT.
I know. I wish that would have been a great Ernie spot last night.
Yep.
So is there not a network that Costas doesn't appear on? So he's on CNN a lot. He's on MLB
Puts him in a
Network.
bad spot.
He's on TBS.
He must be just a freelancer.
I saw Carl Ravitch promote him on a social media post to kick off the series. Yeah. It's like, hey, Bob Costas going to be doing the game.
Oh, that'll be great. For people who
listen to us on the radio or Bob Costas
like
on
to
TV.
say
Do you
gabagool.
think that he will get the Robinson Cano treatment at the K?
Well, I mean, they're not going to announce like,
should.
ladies and gentlemen, here's Bob
They
Costas for
should. We
TBS.
would like to welcome our national broadcast, Ron Darling and Bob Costas.
You know, they used to do
Mike
that
McCartney
at
gets
the
on.
high school football games. They would let people know that doing the game tonight, and you can watch this on Cox on Sunday, is Gary Sharp. And yes, they would make the announcement so everybody would.
Will they do that at Westview, Bellevue East this week?
Whoa, you know your schedule better than I do. Are you gonna be at the game?
No.
Are you doing the game, Josh?
No.
Are you? We're down a man on our crew. Are you?
The guys
are you on the air with us?
I know.
You just tapped in.
I took note of it because it seemed odd.
Well, it's
you got to hit them all.
You get around.
Yeah, we like to over a 5-year period. We like to feature every team.
You got to hit them all.
Yeah,
got to hit them all.
I get it.
I got this for Bull sponsor news. You guys ready for this?
Love Bull sponsor news.
There is a game that nobody wants to go to called the Detroit Bowl, formerly known as the Quick Lane Bowl.
It's just the Detroit Bowl.
I
Now-
noticed that yesterday. It's
named
just the Detroit Bowl.
Jared Goff.
Well, not anymore.
and Tarek Skubal.
It is now known as the Game Above Sports Bowl.
Oh.
Can you tell me what Game Above Sports
I cannot.
is?
I'm gonna. Is it religious?
Kind of sounds like it.
Game Above.
Bring forth greatness. GameAbove.com.
And can you tell us
Capital
about their story?
investments.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Oh, this is like a hedge fund.
so it's like a Saudi game.
Boy, it sure feels like
Shouldn't Colorado play in it then?
Nice.
Got to get to 6.
It's the Piff Bowl.
It's a successful, multifaceted brand that includes charitable giving, capital investments, sports entertainment, and media ventures. It's a hedge fund. Okay, cool. Nice.
So will all the players that participate get like an account?
They get a hedge fund.
Well, I think Ndamukong Suh's going to be there telling them how to best manage their money.
Nice. Be a good spot for him.
By the way,
Hey, he played in Detroit.
observation on Sue running out with the team for the tunnel walk,
That's a big boy.
but not as big now that he's not playing and not lifting.
Yeah.
Oh, the
So-
weight has redistributed.
So people might have looked at the angle and said, "Boy, Dylan Raiola is bigger than Sue."
Corey
Now
Campbell.
remember, Sue was a guy that at one time at Nebraska, his arms were bigger than some quarterback's head.
Yeah, that was awesome.
But you can tell that now he still is a mammoth guy, but he's kind of started that transition in your body where you're not lifting for football.
Yeah.
But I thought, man, oh geez, don't pull a hammy when he's running out for the tunnel.
Oh,
walk.
he was getting after. I mean, he was in the league. He was playing last year, wasn't he?
I don't think so.
Last year or 2 years ago?
2 years ago.
2 years ago.
2 years
So
ago.
he's 37 now.
Sue. Big Mr. Sue.
And he was Carl Meyerskoff, the thrower that went into the Hall of Fame,
Oh, yeah.
bigger than he is.
Yeah, I liked like Sue's going in with the legends of, like gymnastics and stuff like that. That's always super fun. Like, yeah, you're right. But here's Ndamukong Suh. Yeah.
Well, because when they announced them all, most of them are like notable. So at least if you're a Husker fan, you've at least heard the
The
name. And then they waited for Sue. And then
Mhm.
of course Nate just drew it out.
Yeah.
And then he threw the bones and the place went nuts.
Sue.
We love a consonant followed by the ooh
We
sound,
absolutely
don't we?
do. And we had to transition to Boo Sheeny.
Yeah. Where did that start?
that was super organic. I mean, obviously it's a consonant with the ooh afterwards, but
I believe it was after the first successful punt led by the fake punt. Then it was they're like, all right, now we got to give him his boo.
It's boo time.
From rude to sue to boo. Do they say boo?
They do.
Sheeny.
They do.
They get the sheeny in there?
I don't get the sheeny.
No sheeny.
No.
It's like when you hear it's third. Unless you're actually in your seat, I can't hear when Nate says down. It just eases right into the crowd.
It just kind of disappears.
It's like I think I just heard down.
I love a good, like, it's not a bit. It's like a thing that, a staple.
A staple, yeah.
I love a staple.
Conspiracy theories, by the way, guys. I'm not going to get into details on this or what side this is from, but we are now hearing that, we're hearing that Robert Saleh's dismissal from the Jets could be election related.
Okay. All right. Just somebody explain that.
Leave that one there.
That's all.
I'll leave that one there.
Would it shock anyone if Woody and Aaron were voting for the?
So Nathaniel Hackett's going to be the head coach of the Jets now.
No,
because A-Rod and him are also.
Oh yeah, they're on the outs too.
Jeff.
You know what's it? What is it?
Gary
about
said
this?
it earlier, and I think this is probably the most likely scenario. You're going to have a player coach.
What is
Aaron
it about
Rodgers.
this Aaron Rodgers guy? It seems like every relationship he's ever been a part of just seems to end badly.
At some point, I think you got to look at the common denominator.
He's personal or professional.
He's got one. He's got one relationship that is strong.
Himself.
McAfee. Oh, good point.
Yeah.
Jeff
Himself,
Ulbrich.
and then Mac.
Ulbrich.
Jeff Ulbrich.
Yep.
That sounds like a guy.
Rolls right off. That sounds like an NFL coach's
He
name.
speaks today, right? On McAfee?
Oh, he doesn't do that.
No, but I thought he did do that.
No, he is. He's back.
He did it last
He's
week.
done that the last 2 weeks, but
okay.
they said he wasn't going to do that.
Yeah,
this week,
you're
this
right.
year.
You're right. But that would be today, right?
No, because last week was he went after a reporter that asked a question.
Sure.
So that's why he
The
jumped on.
gall.
Could you believe that he asked that question?
Well, I mean, you know what? It was the Packers' problem for a while. They got a Super Bowl. Now it's the Jets'
Just
problem.
one, though. Just
Super
one.
Bowl.
Which is, and Aaron Rodgers is there's not even a debate about him being a Hall of Famer. But if you just paused and went, Aaron Rodgers, man, gosh, a couple of Super Bowls. Yeah, just one.
Mm-hmm.
Just one Super Bowl.
Just one.
Yep. I mean, but yeah, he's an incredible football. Has been an incredible football player.
He's also 40 years old, coming back from an Achilles tear.
Yeah.
And
why can't you say
that's
that
what
out
it
loud?
looks like.
Yeah. You know, I mean, they've got plenty of weapons, but he looks like an older football player.
And has reached the point in his career that he will get whatever he wants from the teams that employ him.
He looked good against the Patriots.
No matter how good or bad that is for those teams.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Brady did that and actually won a Super Bowl. We don't talk about that enough.
You know what I think at this point, you know the bed you're getting into with Aaron Rodgers.
I mean, there's only certain
you're an
athletes that
organization.
do that as they get a little bit older, like Brady and Julio Franco. I mean, that list is very small.
I miss Julio Franco and
another batting stance that we all tried to mimic when we were young.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we weren't really sure on Otis Nixon's age.
No.
I mean, he could have been playing when he was 60. You would never know it.
Yep.
No. Otis Nixon came out of the womb and he looked old.
Yeah, he was like Greg Oden.
Like Greg Oden. Yeah.
Greg Oden. Nice. Assistant Butler basketball coach.
He'll be in
that was pretty
Omaha
awesome.
this fall.
Yep, Greg Oden.
Did you see him last year when he was here?
I did. He's
From
very tall.
From
He looked
everybody,
happy.
everybody that interacts with him says he's a great guy.
I have heard
but it
this.
is painful to watch him walk.
I know. It looks like
Like-
it hurts.
Yeah, his gait is not just nice and smooth.
Yeah. He moves very deliberately. Certainly.
I got to tell you another guy like I saw in person 2 summers ago. When you see John Elway walk,
Oh.
yeah. So John Elway
He's
was
knock-kneed, right?
bow-legged.
Yep, he's very
But
bow-
now all of the stuff he went through in his football career, like I want to listen closely to see if he creaks. Like it looks
I'm sure he
painful to
does.
see John Elway walk.
Like,
I got this really bad
I don't
ankle
like
and hip
that.
creak, so I'm sure he does.
I don't like that. I don't like watching football players when they're older. It's not fun for anybody.
I know.
Jeez.
Hey,
But you like watching them
they're
on
human
Sunday,
beings.
don't you,
I do.
Connor?
I
They're
love
humans too, Connor.
This is what I'm saying. It's not like I feel remorse for them. I feel sad for them. I'm not
Next
saying
thing you
ha ha
say-
ha they can't walk. I'm not saying that.
Next thing you're going to say is they should have their own school.
Well, the reality, we watch from afar. Like if you talk to some local guys that played in the NFL, and you ask them, okay, what's it like when you get up in the morning? And they'll tell you their body hurts.
Yeah,
They haven't
that's
played
not.
in the NFL in 10 years.
Yeah.
Their body hurts.
I didn't do
their
anything
head-
physical
they've
in
got
my entire
CTE
life,
stuff.
and it hurts.
Mhm. That's right.
Yeah,
How old
You
are
were
you?
an athlete.
How old are you, good?
32.
Why do you not consider yourself an athlete? You played college.
Yeah, but
sports.
I didn't play football in the NFL for 20 years.
You had a hand in the dirt. Though.
I would have not known that.
I think you would have. I think you would have. Yeah. Hey, preseason Big East projections are out from CBS Sports.
Hello, hit me.
Creighton 2?
Creighton 3.
Oh.
Creighton.
I was off.
Whoa.
Creighton 3.
So Connecticut.
Marquette.
They didn't really say that Tyler Kolek has finally left.
He has left.
Mhm.
He has left.
I mean, you might not know until you play them just to make sure, or when the Knicks play.
It's like
Who
when
does-
Aaron Kraft left Ohio State.
Who did Tyler Kolek get picked? The Knicks?
Knicks.
That'll be good. That'll be nice for them. This is all. I'm just worried about all those signs he has to read in New York.
Mhm.
He's supposed to get anywhere if he can't read.
You Uber. You
Just kidding. Tyler Kolek can read. Nobody
Wait.
laughed at that joke like I wanted them to.
Well, it was like some uncomfortable silence
was-
here in the studio
Yeah, you guys were all responsible for it. Just laugh
Because-
at the joke.
because I don't think not being able to read is funny.
Thank you. It's a bit.
Did you say it is funny or
it's
not
a,
funny?
It's a
not
bit.
funny.
No, it's not funny.
It's not funny if it was real.
Yeah.
It's a
Look,
bit.
I'm willing to go out there and go. It's pretty funny.
It is funny. Thank you.
Floyd Mayweather, hilarious.
Now that's real though.
Do we like?
I'm
do we know
laughing at-
because,
I'm laughing
because
and
we've
saying
never
it's not
heard
funny,
him
but I'm
narrate
laughing.
books on tape?
50 Cent calling him out after all those times.
It wasn't just that he called him out; it's that he was persistent with it.
Yeah.
No,
And he never did it.
real simple. Read one page of Harry Potter, and I'll donate $1 million to whatever charity you want.
You can
It's
read
fine.
one page of a Harry
I-
Potter book.
I struggled early in school with reading, and it wasn't because I couldn't. It's just I got bored.
That's it.
But I've made a
Yeah.
comeback. Like when I was in sixth grade, like you have to take those tests. I had the reading level of a third grader, but by the time I graduated from into high school, I was
Yeah,
right at the eighth grade.
That's good.
Let's
Comeback reader of the year thanks to Pizza Hut.
Let's be clear here. Children who can't read, not funny.
Not funny.
Yeah, that's true.
Not
Yeah.
funny.
Famous adults who can't read, funny.
I would agree.
It's less funny than the bit about a famous adult who can't read, who actually can read quite well. It's just an online thing that he can't read.
We've been given a tip here from Nick on Twitter.
Oh, good.
Greg Oden no longer with Butler
Ah!
basketball.
Whoa!
Why? Where's
They
he at
fire
now?
him?
Is his knees?
Is this Mr. Caitlin Clark? Took
Yes.
his job.
Yes. Yes. He's
Oh.
GA there now.
Wonder how he got that job.
Caitlin pushed out Greg Oden. Ooh,
Jeez.
put that on your rundown today.
What?
We'll
Did
get
Fran
to
have anything to do with this too?
Big Ten on Big Ten crime.
well.
Wow.
He'd moved to the area. He
Yeah,
needed a job.
I mean, I thought what the Pacers weren't good enough.
He's probably
Jeez.
out of his money from the NBA.
It's not clear yet where Odin will be headed.
Well,
Beheaded?
being how the season is 4 weeks away, maybe he can.
Mac,
Find a
get
place.
on the phone.
Yeah.
They already got Jahins Manigat.
I like that guy.
Me too.
I do too.
Do we need to have
Catch.
do we need
Sorry.
to have a discussion that like Doug has not been signed yet? When we started NBA preseason,
Is
last
this
night?
true?
Oh no, is it over?
I didn't know this. He's
Someone will pick him up.
He's a free, yeah. Former Indiana Pacers wing Doug McDermott, still a free agent late in the offseason. Wow.
Hmm.
Doug
Could he
McDermott
be
was
like
recently
a-
on the.
Could he be like a
Ryan
mid-season
Russillo?
pickup? Somebody needs a shooter.
Oh,
I thought he
yeah.
would have been more involved when the Pacers got into the playoffs.
He's like one of those.
wasn't?
Now he's a ring chaser guy. That's awesome.
but I don't
Yeah,
blame
that's a good
him.
place to-
He's
that's
been
a-
in the league long enough and made good money.
How many kids does Fran McCaffrey have?
I didn't know that Doug McDermott recently went on the Ryan Russillo podcast to talk about
Oh,
Creighton and
Nice.
things of that nature.
There's too much happening. right
Actually,
now.
this is not recently. This was in March, but
Okay.
I might read that. I might listen to that if I could find it.
So Fran's last kid is going to Butler. He committed to Thad Matta.
Okay, so but
Now
then
makes
his
sense.
other son is a
Connor,
GA.
transfer.
Connor
Well,
is
then he
the
had
boyfriend. Connor is the assistant coach.
yes.
And then Patrick,
And then Patrick transferred to Butler, and his
Yeah.
other son, I believe, is going to Butler as well,
and then
which is not a surprise.
which is the first one. What was his name?
Well, they have Connor, Patrick, and then they have a high schooler.
These are the
I
most
think that's the
Irish
last
names ever.
Oh.
But it was not so. The one son said, "Yeah, I think it's best if I don't play for Dad."
Jonathan.
I wonder why. Little
I
rage?
think it'd be tough playing for your dad at Iowa, especially who your dad is.
Yeah,
He's
I
very
think,
polarizing.
I think that
And-
has a lot to do
And
with
you
it.
know, I mean, his kids have been pretty good.
Yeah.
Also, he
But
might
still-
get fired soon.
One was okay at baseball.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I think that part of especially that kind of guy. Yeah, his motor runs hot.
Jack's had some difficulties in life.
Yeah, I saw. I
Yeah.
was just reading that story too
Yeah. I'm learning a lot in this crossover.
About the McCaffreys?
Yeah.
about many things: conspiracy theories,
Mhm.
hurricanes, elections. Bob
They all tie
Costas.
together. And just think what we'll be doing 4 weeks from today. We talk about the
Literally.
same stuff.
Why'd I stay up all night? I should have known it wouldn't have been over.
Connor, I'm going to slide this over to you. Do you think I should read this as far as the conspiracy theory?
Oh, God. If you have to ask.
Give me a second.
I mean, there's the hurricane thing was one. This one, especially with Robert Saleh, I never would have connected the two. Never would have thought that could be a reason why he is no longer. It had nothing to do with his
I don't know.
20-36
My,
record.
my response to the conspiracy
It's a good
theory
joke.
about, oh, you know what? Hey, it could be a swing state, so let's just take out the entire Gulf Coast. When I leave here and I get in the car, I'm going to call my friend who just got done finishing their house on Fort Myers Beach and were told to evacuate yesterday by the authorities that came to their front door.
Mhm.
I'll just tell him and I'll go, hey, this is who, if you're on Twitter right now, I know you guys are driving north or
Yeah.
actually you're driving across the alley to
Yeah.
over to Fort Lauderdale. You should look at this and see if you agree.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
Then
I had
maybe
to get
turn
that
around.
off my chest.
Right?
Yes.
Then turn around.
Connor,
Okay.
it's not a joke, by the way. The sad thing is this person's actually
Oh yeah,
trying
Are
to
we
speak
gonna
the
read
truth.
it?
Why are
Nah,
you
we
getting
can't.
all the conspiracy theories sent to you?
Because one guy has a really good time retweeting these things as a joke. So the
Okay,
guy who
okay,
retweeted it thinks it's very funny.
Mhm.
The
So
actual
as you guys know,
crux of it is not meant to be funny.
as you guys know, there is a bunch of people out there on Twitter who just say incorrect things now, and they're very popular for it.
Yeah.
This is one of those people.
Yes.
This is one.
They're not afraid to go there.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. We've gotten a lot more of that lately. People just aren't afraid to go.
I was
there.
thinking about my life 1 month from today. Okay. So November 8th
Is this you or is this an email?
will be Nebraska's record on November 8th. They will have just
Ooh.
played UCLA.
That's a dub.
All right. The week
Yeah.
before would be the Omaha. So there's 3 games from now until
7
November
and
8th.
2.
7-2. So 1 loss in the next 3 games.
Wow. Imagine.
Then they have a bye week. It's a bye week again.
They go 6 by, 3
Double.
by,
double bye.
3.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then
So it's a
we'll be in basketball season.
Yeah.
You'll probably be in Idaho or something.
Yes.
Maybe Florida, Vegas.
They're
What does their schedule look like?
I started
Not
looking-
good.
I started looking.
Well, you cover all 4 corners of the country.
It's media
yes.
days. Why
Oh,
aren't you
nice.
there?
That's what I was asking
I don't
too.
need to go there.
So
Could at least Zoom.
where?
Let's break this
Yeah,
down. for a bit.
let's
break
go.
this down.
Pull up OMAVs.
I'm up there.
Pull up OMAVs.
Hey, you're going to Stetson.
Be in Florida.
I had no idea that college was in Florida.
I knew it was in Florida. I had
Less
no
than
idea where.
48 hours later, we'll be in Minneapolis.
That's good.
Oh, God,
Easy.
That's right.
Delta
That's-
flight.
That's right.
Then we'll
Hey,
go to
Vegas.
and then we'll go to Salt Lake City.
Yeah. Okay.
Jesus.
And this is all on one
This
trip.
is in the first 2 weeks.
Lord.
You've been invited to the Akron Basketball Classic.
Yes.
so on
Keep going.
November 8th, where will he
Oh.
be on November 8th?
We'll be flying from Orlando to Minneapolis.
Uh-huh.
All right.
Okay.
That's not bad. It's not bad.
There's
It'll be 4 days after the election. Interestingly.
I would just throw that out there.
You going to Sacramento?
Yep.
My God,
God, you do have all 4
These are
corners.
some
So-
great
So Omaha
hidden
will,
gems.
Omaha before Summit League play starts will play it in all 4 time zones.
That's
Will you
awesome.
be in Delaware?
racking up the miles.
No, not in Delaware. Okay.
I think you
No.
could call all of these places hidden gems of the country. Stetson,
You got
Cedar
the
Falls,
Sacramento.
Ames.
You got the UNI Iowa State.
Oh
League.
yeah, you get to play the McLeod Center.
Friday and Sunday in Iowa.
You can
Hell
see
yeah.
you can see Trev's birth home.
I don't mean this disparagingly. I'm just trying to educate myself.
Yeah.
What is a Mount Marty?
Yankton, South Dakota.
Yeah, that's a
It's
local
a-
NAI.
so
I
when you
almost
are-
played baseball
when you
there,
are
Josh.
playing-
Many did, Nick. Many did.
Oh, they
They-
recruited the Metro.
Yeah,
They
did.
are the equivalent of Iowa State scheduling Omaha as the number 5
Yeah.
team in the country. Omaha gets to schedule some other team and act like the number 5 team in the
The
country.
Lancers.
I think if you were if you were Mount Marty, I don't know what their coaching situation, but like they probably threw out to the Metro. So like if you were on a varsity baseball roster in the Metro, you could go play at Mount Marty
Yeah.
after that. That was just like the thing.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Or there or Dana College, which
So,
closed.
There were
Uh-huh.
a couple of local Missouri Valley Conference teams that backed out of the start of a home and home.
Okay.
Their home schedule
Ah,
could have had a little bit more.
those damn Salukis.
That was my first campus visit ever to go play
Yeah.
baseball somewhere.
This is a joke
This
that
is
only
cool.
like 4 people are going to get, but I'm going to tell it anyway. Mount Marty's mascot, the Lancer,
Lancers, yeah.
looks like Moltar from Space Ghost Coast to Coast.
I love Space Ghost. Moltar?
I believe that's
Yeah.
it must be a new revamped.
Are you talking
they
about Brack?
rebranded? Maybe they
No.
rebranded the Lancer.
Moltar, the guy who ran the control room.
Oh, I love that. I had Space Ghost.
Ghost.
Yeah,
One of
I was
my-
thinking, the space.
One of my favorite
Space Ghost is
CDs
great.
as a kid was Space Ghost Musical Barbecue.
Yes, probably cutting muffins.
Yeah.
I love that.
I love that.
It
I
was
pop
so
that in
good.
all the time.
Hey, on that note, you guys probably discussed it yesterday. Do we need to follow up with Matt Rule just dropping in a Blue Mountain State just
was good.
randomly yesterday?
good.
And you could see and hear him like, okay, I can't name a school. I can't
Yeah.
name a school.
Blue
I
Mountain State.
can't name a school. Blue Mountain State.
He's a big fan.
Like, I would
loves
like to
Thad
know if
Castle.
he's
Yeah, this-
watched the complete
This is
series.
why he's my coach.
And if there are elements of Blue Mountain State that he has in his own program,
Well,
because that is the most random.
He's allowing his dudes to get oil
the
changes.
scribes are going to start looking for these parallels now.
Well, I just thought it was like, it was his walk off. I'm like, I would like a follow up to that.
Yeah. Coach, were you a fan?
Also, quick news. Nebraska Public Media will televise the charity
Boo.
exhibition match between Creighton and Purdue.
Boo.
So if you're a Purdue fan, you probably are going to want to watch this. You can. You'll have to pay $10 to Nebraska Public Media. Maybe you get a
Oh,
bag.
Is that a
after
donation? Yeah, you might get like a sleeping bag or something.
Mhm. Tickets are
A-
still
a
available.
blanket.
Interesting. It's free on 1620 The Zone.
You get a fleece blanket.
And 1019 The Kick.
That's right. Thank you.
Yeah.
And 1019 The
It also, I mean, if you're a Creighton fan, you may be hoping that Nebraska Ohio State is 11 a.m.
You are hoping that.
Yeah.
You are hoping that. You are hoping that. That is a hope.
If you are
yeah, I do
involved in
too.
programming on 1620,
Yeah.
I do.
could Nebraska football be back-to-back big nude kickoffs?
See, that's my fear that they won't be.
If
And
they
could they go?
win.
Could they go pregame show in Bloomington on Fox College Game Day the following week in Columbus?
Game day?
I don't think it's game day.
No.
No.
They're doing
no-
a Big Ten game day this week. I
But
don't know if they're going to do 2 Big Ten schools.
Ohio State, Nebraska, 2 major brands.
They've already done Nebraska Ohio State game day in the last 5 years. Just
Things are
But
different.
that was
Connor.
in
find another
Lincoln.
game.
Things are different.
That was Scott Frost and Lincoln with no socks.
there's no reason to
there's-
draw attention to
There's
it.
no day before college game day awkwardness of Wandale Robinson being up on the stage to talk about the new football facility.
That was
That's right.
awesome.
The
Do
day
you
before.
think Nick Saban and Pat McAfee are caping up for Nebraska? Like, hey, put your conference biases aside.
I mean,
These
they got
guys are
called
a
out.
story.
They got called out. They're going to be at a Big Ten place this week. Finish at a Big Ten place.
That's okay.
Nebraska wins in Indiana. They get ranked. 2 ranked teams playing.
I'm dreading it's going to be 2:30 CBS.
I can't wait for Nebraska to be on.
What
CBS,
would
'cause
we
the
do?
CBS,
What would we
I-
do, like as a station?
Correct.
Big Red Overreaction live on 1180 The Zone.
Oh, sweet, because I'm in studio for that one.
I love the
Hey,
enthusiasm.
so
Yeah.
you've already done a big red overreaction in Coil.
Yes, I have,
You
and
do
it was
a
a
good overreaction.
dumpster fire.
Yeah.
That's
okay,
right.
so it's in my contract. I only do it on the zone. So I would be out that day.
So, damn, there's always a
Better
a
hope for an
loophole.
11 a.m. kick.
All right. Well, enjoy thinking about that.
Missouri, Alabama, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, LSU, A&M are games that same day.
Oh,
If you're looking for the game
Missouri.
day,
So they've already been a
location.
College Station.
Missouri didn't help.
Mhm.
So LSU, Texas A&M will be a prime game. but they've already been to College Station. If LSU wins this weekend against Ole Miss, that's probably, I don't know.
Oklahoma Ole Miss might be a spot.
Oklahoma
It's
might get
Rice,
rolled this
UConn?
weekend.
I just did Oklahoma, right? With Tennessee?
Yeah. I don't know. You got to.
Whatever.
Would that be the weekend they go to James Madison?
Yeah, go to Army or something.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Who's Army got?
I'm looking. Well, I'm going to have to control
That's
F.
just one of the schedules I don't know off the top of my head.
Army doesn't play.
I just know
Damn it!
Bam.
What about Navy?
James Madison hosts Southern Miss.
They ain't going.
No. Signetti's-
Navy hosts Notre Dame.
Okay, that's it.
Okay, yeah.
That's the game. That's
Yeah.
the game. Forget about it. College game day canceled. All right.
How rough has it gotten around here that you're losing out a game day appearance to Navy?
No, I'm not losing out a game day appearance. I'm saying game day, go somewhere else.
We lose nothing to Navy. We owe everything to Navy.
What if you're an Army guy?
Truth.
That is the crossover, gentlemen. Enjoy your afternoons. Brought to you by, powered by Every Level Concrete Repair in Omaha at everylevelconcrete.com. It's Tuesday. We'll start things off next, Josh.
It's the Connor Happer Show.
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
We want to do this?
Could you, make an announcement that we're ready?
It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620, The Zone.
All right, good morning. Welcome in. Happy Tuesday. It's the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. It's a good note for everybody. Just remember, whatever happens today, it's not Giancarlo's fault. It's not at all his fault. Don't be concerned. Go ahead.
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
Thank you. Thank you, Bob. A voice of reason. A voice of reason.
A voice.
Definitely a voice. I will play you that full clip here in just a couple minutes as the Royals took game 2 of the ALDS in New York. But they were lucky.
Oh yeah, it's all luck.
They were lucky. So I wouldn't really be concerned about the Yankees going forward. I just luck. Luck.
That's what you need this time of year. You need luck. Doesn't matter about skill or ability or
no
talent.
No, it when you're lucky, it doesn't. It means you're going to lose all the rest of your games. So the Yankees will be fine. Don't worry. They'll win the next 2, and they will get rid of the Royals' luck that they seem to have on their side right now. Imagine if they didn't have any luck. Whoa, the Yankees probably would have swept them. Would have been pretty close to over already.
Yeah.
Today on the show, Allan Bell will join at 11:30. We'll talk some NFL with him. Jacob Bigelow coming up at 1. We'll also have NFL reaction, overreaction. The debut of Josh's bottom 5 NFL teams.
I am prepared.
Excellent.
We did it at Werner Park.
We'll have the second installment.
Haven't done it in a while.
Josh's bottom 5 NFL teams, worst 5 NFL teams. I'm curious about 2 or 3 teams to see if they make your bottom 5. So we'll see.
We'll find out together.
Coming up at 12:45. And we'll have our Big Ten stock report today from the artist formerly known as Big Ten Report Cards. Big Ten stock report. There were some changes, some movement in the stocks over the weekend. And so we will dive into that. Elsewhere, we'll bring back that stat that we were talking about yesterday with the sacks and the turnovers and the takeaways. And I'll add something to it today during the show. James Franklin's triggered about travel. Heinrich Harburg is a talking point yet again. I have a conspiracy theory email that I'd like to get to. I'd like to introduce you to a thing called Project Rudy in college football.
That sounds like a conspiracy theory.
Kind of. Robert Saleh has been fired. And the reason is, Aaron Rodgers. And this is not a conspiracy on that one.
I can't wait for him to criticize the media for daring to think.
You guys did this.
That he would... You guys drove a wedge between us.
Yep.
We were fine.
He wasn't.
I've never gotten a coach fired in my life, except every coach I've ever played for.
And the debut of Stop Rate. We got a Stop Rate update. People forget we only do Stop Rate when Nebraska's defense is good, and it turns out Nebraska's defense is good.
I say very good.
They are good, possibly very good. So that is the setup for today on the show.
But Northern Iowa got 3 points.
I want to hear from you guys. 402-951-1620 on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. You can call our text that number, tweet at Happer Show, at Connor Happer on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. Email Connor or Josh O at 1620thezone.com and the Equitable Bank Zone inbox. You can watch us along on YouTube, 1620 The Zone TV, or at zonetv.live. Before we get off, and by the way, the lineup is powered by the referees at John Higgins Weather Guard. Before we continue on, we'd like to remind you about the $25,000 4-quarter pick'em, and the winner of last week's $2,500 is John. Nice job, John.
Great work, John.
John, Jon. John.
No H.
No H. I don't want to mention his last name just in case he wants to keep that. It's John.
No, he doesn't need people coming at him asking him, "Hey, will you invest in my business?"
Yep. Also, the inner office standings see Nick Grimm leading by a game over me, by 2 over Josh Peterson, by 3 over John Bishop, by 5 over Josh Hodson, by 5 over Nick Hanley, by 5 over Gary Sharp, and by 6 over Jimmy Chavez.
For the good of this station,
Nick Grimm.
needs someone to take the lead in the standings.
Can't have Nick Grimm being the all-knowing football man because he'll rub that in our faces for as long as we live. So whether he likes to say it or not.
And then ask us, what's a hold?
Good question. I'm sure he'll know the answer to it. That's for sure. All right, we're off and running on a Tuesday. I'd like to talk about the Kansas City Royals when we return, Josh.
I'd like to let you.
Thank you. Appreciate that. We'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Well, it was an absolutely masterful display of East Coast bias last night in the Bronx. Unfortunately, it was not enough to get their beloved Yankees over the top. Bob Costas was the voice of New York. And
Yuck.
we got guys sticking their tongues out. We got guys pimping walks. Once again, I'd like to maybe I'm too in my Royals bubble here, Josh, but if you're America and you're watching this, obviously if you're in New York and you are a fan of the Yankees, you're like, yeah, hell yeah, this is awesome. I love this. But if you're anyone else watching that game, you are probably rooting for the Kansas City Royals. Like, you're rooting for the Yankees and the Red Sox to lose like always. That is the rule of thumb for anybody outside the East Coast. Wrong or right?
I would think you are correct. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Generally.
Yes. Wide blanket over the entire thing. We hate to do that, but sometimes it has to be done. And so last night, if you were watching the game, you're thinking, what in the heck is going on? And it was no better exemplified than here. A ground ball to shortstop by Giancarlo Stanton in the 8th inning. The Royals were leading 4-1 in Game 2 of the division series. It would be a monumental win for their team this year, for their franchise, to take it back to Kansas City with a split in New York, right? To take back home field advantage, a chance to actually win the series in Kansas City for the Kansas City Royals, who have played very well over the last 2 games, maybe better than anybody thought they had. But Bob Costas and Ron Darling, a few minutes before this, were talking about how Giancarlo Stanton had been instructed to not run very hard because he's had so many leg issues. And then when he hit a ground, and in fact, Costas said right before, Giancarlo Stanton hit this ground ball to Bobby Witt Jr. at shortstop, who made a lovely play to snare it and then throw it on to second and on to first.
Some might call it routine, Connor.
He said Giancarlo is quite the double play candidate. And, well, here's how it sounded last night on TBS.
Hit to short. Witt gets the force. Can they turn 2? Yes, they can, and it's just the point we were making. It's not Giancarlo's fault. A near base hit. Couldn't beat it out at the other end. Turns into a double play.
Imagine that.
Yes, they can.
Yes, they can. It's not his fault.
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
It's not Giancarlo's fault. I mean, come on. Come on.
I maintain no professional broadcaster has ever sounded so sad.
Seriously. In a playoff game. It was a huge out. It was a huge 2 outs in the game. The Royals had done everything they could to that moment to just silence the crowd. There's all this buzz around the stadium. Like, you know what you're in for when you go play in New York against the Yankees in the playoffs.
Concrete jungle.
It's hard. You have to get up early and stay on it. And you can't let them get any, because they get a home run in the 9th. All of a sudden it's like, oh, the crowd's back, and I don't like the situation that they're running themselves into here.
The crowd is also awakened by a routine fly ball. Oh boy, they don't know how far that ball's going to go.
No,
at that stadium.
Well, maybe they think they have a chance to go out when they hit it 286 feet, because that's sometimes happens.
Maybe
in the Bronx. Wild stuff from Bob Costas, who, unfortunately for him, does have to do the remainder of this series, which might go 5 or might go 4. Jazz Chisholm, after the game,
this guy
who was responsible for that home run in the 9th, and also was a fan of purple arm sleeves. You know, they let him. They don't let him have facial hair, but they let him have purple arm sleeves up there.
I've also thought that's odd.
Interesting. He said after the game, quote, "It still feels the same that we're going to win it. I don't feel like anybody feels any different. We're going to go out there and do our thing still. We still don't feel like any team is better than us. We had a lot of missed opportunities tonight, so they just got lucky."
Oh, no. Chaz, they're going to put that on a shirt. And it's going to have a Royals logo on it.
I would say, now I'm a biased observer of this, of course.
Okay.
I would say that the Yankees are lucky to not be down 0-2 in this series. And then by watching the two teams as unbiased as I possibly can, I cannot tell which team is better than the other. Number one, because it's baseball and it's hard to tell in a small sample size, such as a best of 5 series. But number two, who says the Yankees are so much better than the Royals? Where do they get? I don't get it.
27 world titles.
They have Aaron Judge, who has done jack nothing in the postseason, and they have Juan Soto pimping walks and shaking his head. My God, Judge, you want to see me go old man during a baseball game? Watch me watch Juan Soto play. I think he's a great player. He's an incredible player, and he's a great player for 2024 because he gets on base a lot. He's got a great eye. He walks with the best of them. He's got power. He's a star. He's got speed, like all these things. But in the first inning, when you swing and miss at a Cole Reagan slider, swing and miss, you missed, right? And looks back at the pitcher and goes, yeah, I got it.
I'm going to get it.
He didn't, by the way. He didn't, for the record. And you're Carlos Rodon in the first inning, striking and then Bob Costas in the first inning goes, Rodon's got no-hit stuff. And guess what? He's thrown a no-hitter before in his career with the White Sox. He's got no-hit stuff. He's gotten 3 outs in the game. And this is your takeaway if you're Bob Costas. And Rodon's sticking out his tongue. He's like, oh, yeah, I got it tonight. Where does this team get so entitled? Is it because they're the Yankees? Is it because they have 27 world championships? Is it because Aaron Judge has strapped and Juan Soto have strapped the entire team on their back the entire season long, and now they think that they're due something just because they have those two players?
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
You need a full roster in order to win postseason games. You need a bullpen, which the Yankees don't have. You need more than one starting pitcher, which is what the Yankees don't have. And you need more than 2 baseball players, which is what the Yankees don't have, it seems. I don't get it. I don't get where they get so confident. It doesn't make any sense to me. Sticking out their tongues in the first inning. Michael Garcia comes back after the game and pops on Twitter and grabbed a video of the Rodon screaming and striking out everyone in the first inning and saying, oh, no, they're not going to be able to hit me tonight. You know, one of those things. Michael Garcia, don't celebrate too early. He later tweeted, we don't fear nobody.
Ooh.
That's Michael Garcia, who had really been quite the scourge on the Royals lineup this entire season. But, as noted by many, he played this last offseason in a little thing called, Josh, the Venezuelan Winter League. Have you ever seen any games from the Venezuelan Winter League?
I have. I watched
Ronnie. Nuts. They are nuts. And they are postseason environments every night. And so what do you know? Michael Garcia gets 4 hits last night. And he's been
all singles.
He's been pretty good during the postseason. So
I thought it was a very odd note from Bob. All singles.
All singles, by the way. No damage done with that. They were going to build him they're going to build Judge a monument and a statue. And God, I mean, I just don't.
They'll build anyone a monument.
This is a bad. This is not enjoyable to me. Not enjoyable.
No, it was the game last night was a lot of fun for me, a relatively unbiased observer. I'm a red-blooded American, so I hate the Yankees. But the broadcast was straight trash, homie.
Aaron writes in on the text line.
Hi, Aaron.
He says it sounds worse than a local team calling their games that are actually paid by the team. It does. Bob Costas, not paid by the Yankees that we know of. Jeff writes in, to be fair, Bobby Witt had a pretty bad postseason so far, except for the 2 go-ahead hits in game 1 and 2 of the wild card series. But that was
the last round.
That's neither here nor there.
You got to do it at Yankee Stadium for it to count.
I guess so. So we'll see what happens tomorrow night. I don't know. What do the Yankees think? They're going to go there and there's going to be 8 people there and they're going to say, they're just a little Midwest. Like, no, there's going to be 40,000 people. They're going to be all on top of you. It's going to feel like 2015 again. The Yankees didn't get to experience that because they weren't there.
Patrick Mahomes is going to sing the national anthem.
He was watching the scores last night. I heard "Let's Go Royals" chants breaking out at across the street at Arrowhead Stadium. Yeah, if that town needed any more juice, they have it. They have it.
Us against the world.
Yeah. Let's take a phone call here from the 42 Degrees of Source hotline. Here's Rick on the phone. Hi, Rick.
Good morning, Josh and Connor. Beautiful day out. Hey, I totally agree with you. Costas is, he's a cheerleader for whoever. But the games that Kansas City and New York played on Saturday was just amazing to see. See a guy walk. 3 guys. That's a stellar reliever. And then yesterday to watch the starter for the Yankees just shut him down, and the next thing you know, he's going to get an early shower. So I do not know how they sell Major League Baseball during the regular season, because to me it's awfully boring. But this playoff between the Kansas City and the Royals is just very, very exciting. But I had a duel last night. I kept flipping over to Peyton and his brother on ESPN, and this Mahomes, he's a circus master. He's thrown the ball behind his back. He's doing everything. So between the Royals and the Chiefs yesterday, or the Chiefs, or whatever you want to call them,
nice.
They were just very entertaining. And what I'd like to see somebody put on a T-shirt is when the Yankees show up at Kauffman or wherever the stadium is in Kansas City, they could have a picture of or a video of Reed on third stealing home. So that would make my day.
Nice.
Thanks for taking my call. Appreciate the show.
Thank you, Rick. Appreciate it. Andy Reid steals home in an AI video? Sure. Why not?
Just another one of the many conspiracy theories we'll have to debunk today. Now, Connor.
Maybe they put Andy on top of the crown. That's way up there, send him up the ladder and have him just wave a towel or something like that. Andy. Oh my God, it's Andy Reid. Andy. What's he doing up there?
There's a cheeseburger up there. Go get it, bud.
I get scared just thinking about that, Josh. They have these drone shots every once in a while that go over the top of the Crown Vision scoreboard in Kansas City, and I freak out a little bit. I get scared.
Now, I kept this bit of information from you because I know you would not approve of us airing it, but I know some people in New York. I had them go into the clubhouse after the game yesterday, and hey, what was the vibe in that Yankees clubhouse yesterday? I have audio. I have obtained audio exclusive to the Connor Happer show of Bob Costas and Giancarlo Stanton after the game yesterday.
Oh, interesting.
Here it is.
It's not your fault. I know. It's not your fault. I know. No, you don't. It's not your fault. I know. It's not your fault. All right? It's not your fault.
Wow.
It's not your fault.
The Giancarlo is pretty broken up.
Yeah. Pretty powerful audio.
Inconsolable.
Yeah.
Pretty powerful stuff. You're right.
I know.
Here's a tweet that Sean just sent me from Chris Felica, the Bear.
Oh, hi, Bear.
Jazz Chisholm says the Royals got lucky. You're the one who's lucky after game 1 replay debacle where you were clearly out at second base. Witt is 0 for 10 in the series, and Kansas City could easily be up 2-0. Might want to reassess that thought process, Jazz.
Great take, Bear.
Yeah. Just saying, man. I
not going to keep Bobby down for long.
Are they going to be surprised when they lose game 3, or if they lose game 3? Are the people going to be surprised by this? They shouldn't be.
I think the national media will.
I didn't know it was possible in a playoff series where the team clearly deserves to be there, that you're taking them because that seems to be that's the messaging from New York right now. They get by the Royals. It's the Royals. Yeah, the team that's gone 25-8 in postseason games over the last decade, have lost one postseason series in everybody's life that's been on the roster.
The thing I don't get from yesterday's game,
I don't understand it,
is okay. Reagan's clearly struggling so hard that Salvi motions to the bench.
Get somebody up.
Get a guy up now.
Get him going.
It doesn't matter who.
Yep.
Get somebody up. Would you like to work a count? Would you like to let him walk you? Or would you just like to swing at whatever comes your way?
I don't know what it is with them. They are not. I mean, first of all, it's a deeply flawed team. First of all, second of all, and They seem to, for whatever reason, be taking the Royals lightly, and I cannot imagine that, Josh. I cannot imagine that. Whatever. You go ahead and keep doing that, but might not work out for you the next 2 in Kansas City. So, also camera angles again a thing. Salvador Perez hits a home run and they're on the ump cam from behind home plate. Everyone was like, "Oh yeah, that was cool." No, it wasn't. Shut up. It was horrible. I'm now the person who gets mad at the when the volleyball games come on and they do the behind the court cam.
Okay, you're that guy.
I actually don't get mad at that. I actually kind of appreciate that a little bit, but everybody else gets triggered about it. I guess I was the only person who was triggered by the ump cam.
I hate
why do we need to do these?
Ump cams are terrible. I can't see anything.
You can't see
it's
anything.
Shaking. It looks like the Blair Witch Project.
Exactly. It was not cool at all. I don't know why people are saying that.
Look at that. 2 movie references in this segment that Connor Happer understood.
By the way, what was the Giancarlo audio from?
A little film called Good Will Hunting. Okay,
gotcha.
So I guess we're one of 2.
What was the other one? What was the one you just mentioned?
Blair Witch Project. Shaky cam. You knew what I meant by shaky.
It's kind of 0 for 2, Josh.
Yeah, man.
0 for 2 on that one. All right.
I didn't ask for any of this.
We'll come back. Plenty to discuss today. Allan Bell will join us at the bottom of the hour. We'll talk some NFL. I also like to talk about the other playoff series that was incredible yesterday.
My guy, Scoobs.
Yeah. Scoobs got yelled at online by his mom.
Hilarious.
More on that and plenty. And we want to hear from you guys, of course, as always. 402-951-1620. You can tweet at Happer Show at Connor Happer. We'll be back after this on 1620 The Zone. All right, welcome back. More of the Connor Happer Show. You're on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. It's the most wonderful time of the year. You start to feel it now at nights and in the mornings. Chill in the air. You know what that means. Time for Vallis Pumpkin Patch. We want to get you in for free.
Free?
Yeah. I said it, Josh. Free. 1620thezone.com. It's an online-only contest. Head to 1620thezone.com and you'll have a chance to enter that contest and win free passes to the great, the one, the only, Vallis Pumpkin Patch. Josh.
Connor.
Stop rate is here.
Stop rate.
We're on stop rate in a second.
Okay.
But I'd like to first spend just like 2 or 3 minutes on the Detroit Tigers. I think all bets might be off with the Detroit Tigers.
Oh, wow.
There is no reasonable reason, as Bob Diaco would say. There's no reasonable reason that this team should be in that position.
They've won 3 games this postseason. Yeah. 2 of them from Scooble.
Yeah.
Like,
and they got insanely hot in September.
They certainly have a vibe to them.
They do. They have no good players in their lineup. They have Tarek Scooble, which, by the way, Josh and I went back and forth. Is it Tarek? Is it Tariq? Is it Tarek?
You got to pick a name. You got to correct everybody. You got to clarify. That's on you, Scooble.
So, I mean, as perfectly exemplified by a 0-0 game in the 9th inning yesterday, and the Guardians having their all-world closer who has literally been untouchable this year. And a man by the name of Kerry Carpenter, and I don't want to disparage Kerry Carpenter. He's had a good year for Detroit. Hits a 3-run home. I mean, like, mashed. Once again, Clase has been untouchable the entire year. The best closer in baseball by far. People were like inserting him into the Cy Young conversation. It doesn't happen with closers. We haven't seen like a dominant run like this from a closer in a really long time. He's been so good, so dominant. He strikes out everybody. And Kerry Carpenter took him deep in the 9th inning, and they won 3-0. It doesn't, like, some of this stuff is just, you can't really compute it. Doesn't make much sense to me. The Tigers are, they got I don't know if it's a team of destiny vibes, but my God, like, you can't count them out of anything. They're doing all of this against all common logic, all logic whatsoever. So if I'm a Guardians fan, I'm probably a little concerned about that right now. We have 2 very interesting AL series going on at the moment.
All 4 series are 1-1.
All 4 series are 1-1.
That's never happened before.
Mets Phillies restart today at 4. Padres Dodgers blood feud resumes tonight at 8.
What will they throw at the outfielders tonight?
That could be anything. Could be probably still baseballs.
Okay,
be my guess. But
trash.
Yeah, things of that nature. The 2 NL series shift to the other ballparks. So we're in Flushing, Queens at 4, and we are in San Diego at 8:00 tonight. All right, stop rate, Josh.
Stop rate.
Stop rate. This is what you guys are really here for. Max Olson does this every year, even though he's not at the Athletic anymore. He still has stop rate. These are the best defenses in college football at getting stops and preventing points. Right? Number 1, Ohio State. They didn't let up a touchdown until 2 weeks ago, I think, against Marshall. Iowa got one on them. It doesn't happen very often. You haven't been able to score. Now, they haven't really played much so far. Certainly nothing at their level, and certainly nothing they'll see this weekend against Oregon. But their stop rate at the moment is 89%, tops in the country. That is just a little over a half a point per drive. Pretty good. Texas is next. That's one of the best teams in the country. Army. Our Army, Josh.
Our Army.
84% stop rate. Tennessee, 83%. Iowa State. Are they good? Are they going to the playoff? People are getting concerned about it across the river, Josh.
Every weekend we do a segment of, not we, like College Game Day, those types of shows. Why aren't we talking about Iowa State more?
Maybe we should start. Ole Miss is next. So we're at 6. And coming in at number 7 is the Nebraska Cornhuskers defense. On just under 80% of their drives, they are not allowing points. Does that make sense? They're only allowing points on like just over 20% of their drives. According to my records, because I keep track of the drive chart, Nebraska's defense has gone up against 63 drives this year, 27 of which, so that's about 43%, have ended in a punt. Nebraska, of course, has grabbed 10 turnovers this year, so that brings you up to 37 out of the 63 drives. And then, I don't know if Max or exactly what the fine-tuned version of these numbers are. I'm not sure if the number that Max put out there includes like missed field goals. But Nebraska has had 4 field goals missed on them this year, or blocked one, or they've blocked 1, maybe 2, right? So that's thrown in there. Nebraska has allowed points on 12 out of their 63 drives, which is about 19%. So the inverse of that is the stop rate, which is what you're getting, just about 80%. It's one of the best defenses in the country. It's improved over the last couple weeks from just a little wonkiness, I guess, in the Illinois game where they were able to extend drives. Not that Rutgers wasn't able to extend drives as well, but Nebraska, I mean, compare Rutgers and Purdue back to back. Rutgers was extending drives. Purdue was not. Purdue had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 drives against Nebraska, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of them were 3 and outs. 5 of them, Nebraska's defense got a 3 and out, and another one they got an interception on the second play, and it was a pick 6. I mean, they didn't go anywhere. Purdue's out, and then they fired their offensive coordinator. Not particularly surprising. So after the game, Rutgers was able to extend some drives. They had a drive of 8 plays. They had a drive of 7 plays. They had a drive of 8 plays. They had a drive of 7 plays. They had a drive of 6. They had a drive of 9. They had a drive of 8. Their 9-play drive was the touchdown drive. Nebraska did not get any 3 and outs. Actually, they got 1 3 and out on Saturday against Rutgers. They went 3 plays, minus 16 yards, and a punt. So it's a bunch of different things at this point. But is it not? And this is where you guys come into the equation here. Is Nebraska's defense pretty much exactly what you thought it was going to be before the year? Now, is it? I guess is it progressed back to that after the lapse of a couple weeks ago? I know, Josh, you do your sarcastic Husker fan voice about Northern Iowa, but sure, that was like a little eyebrow raising. And Illinois certainly eyebrow raising. But over the last 2 weeks, have they proven enough to kind of get you back on the confidence train, on the trust train in the nest, if you will?
In the trust tree? For me personally, absolutely. Connor, we're halfway through the season. They haven't given up a rushing touchdown.
Not bad. It's also a good stat.
They're as good as I thought they'd do. Even better, because the 2 weeks before the season, I started the mental gymnastics of, gosh, maybe they were only good last year because they were playing the Big Ten West. I don't know. It's almost too much preseason.
Now, there are some things that will be more difficult in the second half of the season.
Sure.
With that being said, it's not like they'll play Ohio State, who has Will Howard. They'll play USC, who has Miller Moss. Outside of that, I don't know that there's a quarterback that you're like all concerned that they're going to, that they're going to rip Nebraska apart. Is the run game? I mean, Monungai, Caleb Johnson at Iowa. I mean, that'll be, an interesting one to sort of watch, of course, and see how Nebraska kind of attacks that one. But then you remember, and this is a math equation, and the offense has done their fair share of the lifting at times this year as well. They've done a pretty good job of either extending drives and certainly not turning the football over, and in some cases even scoring. Let's go back to the offense here real quick and just flip it over. So I brought you this stat last week, the drives that reached the 40. Other people are calling them eckles. I don't know if this officially counts as the eckel. I think you have to have a first down past the 40 to get an eckel.
Okay.
These are just drives that reach the opponent's 40 for Nebraska's offense.
Eckel adjacent.
It's pretty close. Nebraska has had 41 drives this year that reached the 40-yard line of the opposing team, and they have not scored on, let's just make it easier. They have scored on about 58% of those. That number has come up since a week ago. It just ever so slightly. It's still not a great number, but once again, Nebraska's getting drives that reach opposing territory. They're leaving points on the field still, but they are extending the drives, and they're allowing their defense to be put in a good position. Nebraska's defense starting field position is about on the 27-yard line. That's pretty good. So they tilt the field in their direction. Now, special teams woes can throw this off. We'll talk about this a little bit later. Like, can the math equation work without the special teams? And we brought you that question sort of last week. And how can they make some of that up? We'll discuss that as we go on throughout the show. But there you go, top 10 in stop rate, which basically encapsulates the important things for defenses around the country, which is how much are you allowing points? We get into the weeds a lot. We talk about, explosive plays and stopping the run and this and that. And how many turnovers do you get? Let's try and simplify it. Are you giving up any points? Nebraska? Not really at this moment. And as Josh mentioned, and as the broadcast mentioned on Saturday, not giving up any points via rushing touchdowns. 0.
The only team in the country that can say that
so far this year. So I think they're back on track, and it's a good place to kind of make note of that here at the halfway mark in the season. We will come back. We'll be joined by Allan Bell on the other side. We will discuss the NFL on the weekend. That was a really, really good day of football on Sunday. A so-so game last night. A decent game, a good game on Sunday night.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Late night Sunday night. We'll look ahead as well. But I have something for you all first.
You have something for us?
No, not for
you. Give us so much each and every day, Connor.
Not for us, not for like you and I, Josh, but for them.
Oh, them.
Okay. Those who are listening. If you haven't heard the news, Rock of Ages Revisited is coming to Omaha Saturday, November 2nd at the Admiral.
It's an admirable venue.
So they're going to have tribute bands to Michael Jackson. That's called Who's Bad, by the way, creative. A Beatles tribute band called Britain's Finest. An ABBA tribute band called ABBA Fab.
Hello.
Yeah. And Guns N' Roses tribute band called Paradise Kitty.
Okay. I like that one.
So this is Rock of Ages Revisited. And we have tickets for you. 2, Josh, is this correct?
That's correct.
2 tickets to Rock of Ages. You can call right now, 402-951-1620 on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline and be caller number 4. Be caller number 4. I like to say 3. I'm going to change it up. We're going to call caller number 4. Rock of Ages revisited at the Admiral on November the 2nd. Call in right now, 402-951-1620. We'll be back with Allan Bell after this.
Here comes the money.
Here we go. Money talk.
Here comes the money.
Allan Bell, the AB3 on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Let's talk some football with Allan Bell. Driving the line, the AB3. AB, what's going on, my friend? How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. You doing all right?
I'm doing amazing. The Royals won last night. I'm in a good mood.
Yeah, hey, that's a big win, man. Get it back 1-1. There you go.
Hey, are you a red-blooded American and hate the New York Yankees automatically?
Oh, absolutely.
Good.
And they've gone with this. A lot of them have that. Let's just call it the heavy mustache look. It's a little much for me.
Not a fan of the heavy mustache.
Nah, actually, I kind of like it.
It's just that they're Yankees, and so yeah.
Yeah, I can't make fun of their uniforms because they're just so classic. So it's like, all right, I'll just find the mustache.
That's fair. I find it interesting that they let guys wear purple arm sleeves and yellow cleats and stuff like that, but they don't let them have facial hair. Maybe that process is a little outdated by now. I don't know.
No facial hair. Let's keep those haircuts high and tight, boys.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, I know. Hey, Todd.
Your reaction to Robert Saleh being fired this morning, sort of, I mean, I don't know, it took me by surprise a little bit. Maybe didn't take the rest of the NFL world by storm. What do you think?
Yeah, man, it's hard for me to blame the guy. He had 6 different starting quarterbacks, right? But welcome to the NFL, man. Like, that's what a lot of coaches deal with, right? I'm not going to put this all on Aaron Rodgers, although that's a part of it.
It has
to
be.
I mean? Yeah, it is, man. And I don't know, like Aaron Rodgers, it seems to be that people that come in contact with him, like their lives don't get better. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I don't know, but I don't know.
There's been many things just like observed or reported over the years about the various relationships that he's had with people and how they usually seem to be going so well, and then all of a sudden there's a falling out, and then they're gone. There is no relationship anymore. That's happened several times in as long as we've been around Aaron Rodgers. So yeah,
it's odd, man. You know, like it just gets cut off immediately, and ever since that like sideline push thing that was a thing that wasn't a thing.
Yeah,
apparently it was a thing. So congrats to Joe Rogan on becoming the head coach of the Jets.
Yeah, he's going to bring in what he wants, and that's what he wants, Joe Rogan. That's for sure. Okay, speaking of sideline interactions, the other big sideline interaction of the weekend was between CeeDee Lamb and Dak Prescott. The lip readers were out on that one, and I think they're trying to maybe make something out of nothing because we could feel this Cowboys thing like almost being a disaster, but it's not quite there yet. So now we're doing that game with them. I always enjoy when that happens with the franchise that I have no liking toward.
Oh yeah, you know, and people start lip reading, and it's like, I don't think you got that right. Like, it doesn't look great, but it's like I don't think that you had it. Now, the interesting part is this, okay? So this isn't the first one this year that we've had kind of like what appears to be like a blow up, right? But I'll say 2 things. Number one, we're not there, so we don't know. And the Cowboys are winning, okay?
Yeah.
And then number 2, like, I've worked with many people who, I'm not saying that we were combative, but we weren't like boys. You know what I mean? Like, we weren't like thick, but that's okay. It doesn't always have to be that way.
Agreed.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like we don't have to be like best friends. You know what I mean? And disagreements happen. It's football. Coaches scream at everybody. You know what I mean? Like even when they're happy. So like, I try not to take too terribly much into it, but it is kind of a thing. But I think obviously we're making it more of a thing than what it is.
No, people's feelings get too hurt these days, and now we're talking about feelings from the outside looking in, and people just watching it. It's like, ooh, there's a rift there. What's going on? No, guys can tell each other to bleep off sometimes. It happens, you know. That's how it goes.
God, I'll be honest with you. You know what? Like that's the kind of environment I grew up in. You know what I mean? Like with my dad, and I'm not saying like now he's right, but it was like I always knew where I stood, whether I did something good or I did something dumb. You know what I mean? And I could live with that. I'm all right with that. Like, I operate fine in just that. If I'm doing something dumb and you come and tell it to me, but I actually appreciate it. You know what I mean? Like, it's a lot better than the, like, vague, I don't know where I stand. You know what I mean?
Or
like,
not communicating at all? Yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. Like, if you scream at me, I can deal with it, right? I can deal with it. So I actually don't mind it, man. At least they're talking. Look at the Jets. They're not talking.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. And that's even more toxic situation, it seems like to me, for sure. Allan Bell is with us. Okay, so we're 5 weeks through the season now, and I think this will be the 5th week after that we will ask you about the Cincinnati Bengals. Are they done yet? I mean, they're 1-4. I don't feel like they're that bad. Their defense is obviously horrendous right now. But I mean, at 1-4, you're pretty much cooked, right?
Oh, you're toast. I mean, because you basically have to go perfect, which I do not think that they're going to do, even though you're right that the offense is playing great. You know what I mean? Like, Joe Burrow's having like almost 300 yards and 3 touchdowns and losing games. Now, I'm not putting it all on the defense. The defense isn't good, but this is what happens when you go to a Super Bowl, okay? Your star players get picked up in free agency, right? Like, they go make money. You lose players that, you know, you once counted on. That's why it's so hard for teams that have lost a Super Bowl to get back or even be super talented. Look at the Eagles, right? They're kind of going through the same thing, albeit not as bad. But they lost the locker room last year. You know what I mean? So who knows, man? It's tough. That's why it's so insane what the Chiefs are doing. Because
I know. I was just going to ask you that. Yeah.
Yeah, like apparently it just doesn't matter. If 15 is there, Hoss, we got a shot at anything, man. It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible because the guys that the Chiefs have lost are bona fide stars.
Seriously. I mean, they were geared up to be pretty good. They've already lost several of their wide receivers this year. Their running back, who really found a nice role, and they're without all those guys right now, and it doesn't matter. I can't remember if I said this to you last week, but I know we talked about it on the show on Tuesday. Like, somewhere along the way, they just figured out how to win football games, you know? Yep. Like, what the right formula is for their team in whatever environment they're in. I don't think they get enough credit for that because it's all covered up by Mahomes, right? They have Mahomes, and there's a certain amount of truth to that as well. But man, the coaching job that they've done over the last several years now has just been remarkable stuff.
Oh, remarkable. And you know what? You're right. Like, Spags on the defensive side does not get nearly enough credit for how good of a coach that he is, how good of, just this team just plays together, man. And like, I feel like we were just talking about communication. I feel like their communication is elite. It doesn't mean that it's like, like the Dolphins coach. Like, I feel like he tries to be the smartest guy in the room. You know what I mean? Like, with everything, to where Andy Reid and Spags and Mahomes and Kelsey keep going down the list. We don't have to really say a whole lot. Like, just say what we need. You know what I mean? And like, let's go. And Travis Kelsey's perfectly fine the first 3 weeks. Hey, we need you to block. All right, got it.
Cool.
Hey, we really need you to catch 10 passes. All right. You know what I mean? Like, it's like, okay, cool, man. Like, everybody's down for the cause and going in the right direction. And there's something to be said for that, dude. And there's something to be said for not only coaching of like the X's and O's, but just the management of people. You know what I mean? Like, everybody, like, that locker room, we've never heard once that, like, there's a bad fit or something. Like, guys like that are gone, immediately, because they know, they're like, if our locker room's good, everybody's, pulling the same way, we're going to be all right.
There are a couple, I'm looking at divisional, odds right now, and there are a couple that surprise me. The Commanders are plus 200, which is second to win the NFC East. They look like, I know that we don't like to jump on the train like too hard immediately here. They look like the best team in that division by a margin right now. Like I feel like this could be a good spot to jump on that train, given that they're still quite a ways behind Philly in terms of odds to win that division.
Yeah, like, it looks like they have the grizzled veteran quarterback that knows what he's doing, even though he's played 5 games, right? Like, this guy is just throwing dimes everywhere. Dan Quinn's doing a hell of a job. Cliff Kingsbury is doing a hell of a job. Like, them and the Vikings, like, who would have thought? You know what I mean? And they're just doing fantastic. That's what makes the NFL so great, is that it's a week-to-week league, man, and it's a year-to-year. Like, you just never know. You never know, except that the Titans are going to win 6 games. Other than that, like,
Jeff Fisher's going to go 8-8.
Yeah, that's exactly right. Jeff, you know what? Fisher needs to do the thing where, like, somebody like takes out a full page, like in the local newspaper, and it's just him with the mustache. He's like, "Miss me yet?"
Be a great idea. That would be an incredible idea, and it would not go over well, I don't think, in Nashville.
No. Well, actually, they'd be like, you know what? Hey, just come and run the football. Let's go. Bring Eddie George with you.
One more. The other divisional odds that I'm looking at, NFC West winner is still the San Francisco 49ers minus 115. And I can't believe what I'm seeing. Like, I'm not in love with anybody else in that division. But I guess they're just saying, well, San Francisco will get healthy and McCaffrey will come back, but Willie, like, that is a shocking number to me. There's no way they're the favorite to win that division right now.
Agreed. And you know what it reminds me of? Like, it reminds me of, like, 1999 to, like, 2005. The SEC in college football, there were teams that were pretty good, but everyone was good enough to screw it up for somebody else, right? Like, it was like the Big Ten and the Big 12 were just running things. You know what I mean? And it was like every time an SEC team would be kind of good, here come the Cardinals. You know what I mean? And Ole Miss just took you out. Like, it reminds me of that. Like, I don't know who the best team in that division is. It feels like San Francisco, but then you're like, okay, well, Seattle's playing good. Well, it just lost to the Giants. You know what I mean? And it's like the 49ers, they can't finish games. Like, that's the weird thing, is it's like everybody hurt is on offense. I get if you couldn't score points. No, you're scoring a ton of them. Your defense is giving up a ton of them. That's the problem.
Yeah.
It's weird. This Thursday night game's going to be huge.
I tell you what, too. The Rams are still plucky, even though they're hurt everywhere. And I wouldn't count them out in a division that seems to be flattened. You know, it doesn't seem like anybody's better than the other. I wouldn't count them out even at 1-4 right now of that spot.
Sean McVay might be. I mean, he the guy's got a Super Bowl. Like, he's a brilliant dude. You know what I mean? And like, Matthew Stafford is throwing well. You know, like, I agree with you, man. Like, this division, it's West Coast quirky, and I think it's going to keep being more fun as we go. I want the chaos. I like it.
Oh, yeah. No doubt about it. Week 6, Thursday night, 49ers, Seahawks. And San Francisco they're on the road, and they're still a 3.5-point favorite. And I'm like, I mean, do you see the same thing as I do and say, well, that seems like a Seattle play to me if I'm getting free 3.5 points?
Yes, 100%, because everyone's going to bet on San Francisco like this is a must-win game, and it is. But it is for Seattle, too. They just lost as well.
Yeah.
Right? Like, give me a home underdog. Dude, that has been making the books tons of money all year long. I'll roll with it. Absolutely.
No doubt about it. AB, Allan Bell, appreciate it, my friend. As always, good to chat, and we'll talk to you next week.
Hey, look forward to it, buddy. Y'all be good, man. Take care.
Allan Bell, you can check his stuff out daily on Driving the Line. You can find it all on Twitter at Allan G. Bell. The G stands for gangsta.
I've been told.
Allan Gangsta Bell.
He moves in silence.
Like lasagna. All right, we're back after this with the odd news. When we return to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
And now we've reached the point in the show where Josh Odson reads the peculiar, the bizarre, the comical, the odd news with Odd Son. Odd news, Odd Son. See what we did there? The odd news with Oddson.
Hey, so I got an email yesterday.
Brag.
From up front, from Miss Cynthia.
Whoa.
And it said, I was already gone. And it said, you have a package. I said, oh, dang it. I'll have to wait till tomorrow to get this package. I wonder what I...
And then you're thinking about it all night. Like,
I'm thinking about it. I was like, did I order a package to come to work?
No, you're not Nick.
That's right.
Dude,
I wouldn't have done that, right? And so I get a package and I go in and open it up, and it's very unclear who it's from. Seemingly purposefully unclear of who it's from.
Whoa. Careful, Connor.
And it's this mug.
That's a mug.
It's a big mug. Husker's mug. I don't know who it's from. I don't know where it came from. It's appreciated. Thank you.
Thank you for the mug.
Thanks for the mug, somebody. Is this a secret admirer?
I would also add that there's...
Why is it a Huskers mug? Why isn't it a Blue Jays mug?
A Mavericks mug.
A Mavericks mug.
Bruins.
A Royals mug. Bruins. Huskers, Jays, Bruins.
I would also say that there's two of us that are a daily part of this show that you clearly love.
It was not addressed to you.
No.
It was addressed to me and me only.
I got no mug. I am mugless.
Interesting. So, just wanted to put that out there.
Yeah.
Don't know what it means. No idea.
How could you know?
What do we got today, Josh?
We go to Florida to kick things off. Angry that her Domino's pizza was delivered cold and uncut, a Florida woman allegedly drove from her residence to the restaurant where she quarreled with an employee, flung the pizza, and damaged the store's telephone.
I'd say it's worth a quarrel.
Yeah, according to an arrest report detailing the 1:30 a.m. altercation. Police early Saturday arrested a woman 22 years young for criminal mischief following the alleged pizza rage incident. After spending the night in jail, Holly was released from custody on her own recognizance. A judge ordered the St. Petersburg residents to stay away from the Domino's outlet, which is 1.5 miles from her home. The arrest report does not indicate what, if any, pizza toppings Holly requested.
Is it possible that Holly at 1:30 in the morning realized that she had left her pizza sitting out for several hours?
That's where my head immediately went as well.
And it is possible on the Domino's website to get it uncut.
That is a button you can click.
Yeah. So this feels like user error.
It does.
But if it wasn't, then yeah, it's a real problem.
A real problem.
Cold and uncut.
We go to Bob Costas for a reaction.
Oh, no.
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
It's not his fault. Don't beat up Giancarlo.
I don't know why it would be Giancarlo's fault. We go to Australia for story number 2.
Hit the short. Witt gets the force. Can they turn 2? Yes, they can, and it's just the point we were making. Yes, they can.
Kind of cuts off at the end.
Well, he
very
he very quickly hops.
Yes, they can.
I didn't know what to do.
Hey, Obama, what was your campaign slogan?
Yes, they can.
Oh, no, that's not right.
Australia's biggest airline apologized Monday after accidentally screening, quote, 40 minutes of penis and boobs, end quote.
You can skip this story, Josh.
I can? The whole story?
I don't want to hear about
to an entire aircraft full of unwitting passengers. It ain't going by unseen for 40 minutes, okay? Some people enjoyed what they saw, I'm betting. No. Reported by The Guardian to have taken place on and you're going to have to help me because you're a big airplane guy.
Yep.
Qantas flight?
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, there's no U, so I didn't know what to do. From Sydney to Tokyo, the technical error, as what is being called, the in-flight movie selection was unavailable. So the staff held a quick poll.
Which movie should we all watch?
Which movie should we all watch? They picked the latest movie from Dakota Johnson titled Daddy-O, which...
All right, let's go take a look.
I'd like you to read me the plot, because I actually don't know the plot of this movie. I just know that it features an erect, prolonged sexting exchanges and profuse use of the word...
The F word?
The F word, yes.
All right, here's what Google says about this movie. A woman gets into a taxi at New York airport and gradually tells the driver about her unfortunate decisions that led to an affair with a married man. The driver also reveals more about his life.
Oh, it's Taxi Cab Confessions, the movie.
Yeah.
Also,
Dakota Johnson, what's she up to? Doing this?
Who's
the guy? Liam Neeson?
He's normally...
No, Sean Penn. Sean Penn is the taxi driver.
It was apparently only halfway through the movie that eyebrows were sufficiently raised for staff to then change the movie to something a little more family friendly.
Good idea.
To all of this,
Lilo and Stitch.
What in Dakota Johnson's history of appearing on
She's
screen
always in sex
movies?
stuff.
She's always naked. I've never seen her wear clothes. And when she did wear clothes, she was talking about Spider-Man.
She's always in sex stuff.
Yeah.
So you never really need to watch the Dakota Johnson movie.
Yeah.
Unless you're, looking for a certain thing.
You seen one, you seen them all.
Yeah. She was at 50.
That's right.
Shades of Grey. I was going to say
right.
50 First Dates. I love 50 First Dates. That's a good movie.
Poor Nick Swartz.
Hey, peanut butter cup. I call him peanut butter cup. Peanut butter cups in his waffles.
We end the odd news today in Tybee Island, Georgia.
All right.
Where an argument over who stole Vienna sausages at a Georgia nursing home ended with one man being stabbed.
To the Minnesota Twins. Where they had that disgusting sausage.
That's right. Police say they were called to a nursing home last week when they found a man had been stabbed in the chest. Investigators say one man accused another man of stealing his can of Vienna sausages. During the argument, one man pulled out a knife and stabbed the other. It's unclear if the man who was stabbed was the one who lost or stole the sausages.
It's a very different story, right, depending on what was what there.
The injured resident was taken to the hospital. No word on that person's condition. The other resident, whose identity has not been released, was arrested and charged with aggravated assault and possession of a knife.
Mm-hmm.
It's still unclear. This article, very quick to note on the bottom, it's still unclear if the Vienna sausages were stolen.
It's got to be a poll question from this segment at somewhere along the way.
Oh, there could be several.
I don't know if we we have to go back and sort of find one. But
hey, Bob Costas, do you have comment on who might have been at fault for playing the Dakota Johnson movie?
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
Interesting.
Not Giancarlo's fault.
Okay.
Right? Can they? But should they have played the Dakota Johnson movie on that plane?
Yes, they can.
No, Bob. No.
You pervert.
Yes, they can.
Yes, they can.
Yes, they can.
Indeed, it was.
Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
That's the odd news. We'll be back. The noon hour is coming up. We have a few things that we have to get to, including NFL reaction, overreaction, Josh's bottom 5 NFL teams. We'll talk some Huskers. We'll talk some baseball. We'll talk some conspiracy theory email. We'll talk Project Rudy. What is this? What is this? Did Giancarlo do this?
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
Okay, good.
Prove it, Bob.
Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
He gives you the latest sports news, interviews, and life-changing commentary with a smile on his face. Because he wears those ticklish underpants.
Let's get back to the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
Ticklish underpants. Welcome back. Noon hour of the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone and on 1620thezone.com. Connor Happer, Josh Hodson with you.
That's us.
Josh, on YouTube, you're saying respect the NHL.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's opening day.
Is it? Do they have the bunting out?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know.
Do they get the bunting out for NHL opening day?
I don't know, but for some reason, the Seattle Kraken are playing a game that starts at 1:30 local time on a Tuesday.
So 3:30 in the afternoon?
Yeah, here.
Maybe they're doing like a, all day long hockey type of thing.
They're trying to, but
is it working?
I mean, I don't.
So you're telling me if I go to like ESPN right now, there's a hockey game on?
Not right now. Later.
I mean, it's noon.
But
it can't be all day if you don't have a game on by noon.
I just don't know who in Seattle's like, it's a Tuesday on my lunch break. I think I'll dip over to the hockey game. Like, I don't think it works.
You take
that way.
opening day of hockey off. Everyone knows that. I take opening day of hockey off every year. Guess I forgot this year.
Well, I know you're gonna fall in love with the new Utah Hockey Club.
Oh, really? That's what they're doing?
Yeah.
They're not doing. They're not naming them anything.
The Phoenix Coyotes moved to.
I know about that.
Okay, yeah.
So they're just leaving them blank.
For 1 year, they will be Utah Hockey Club until they find a mascot. I believe it's down to 6 finalists.
All right. So when are they gonna unveil that?
I don't know. They will play as that team next season. I don't know the exact date they will name a team.
And it needed some lead time probably to get all these things together. The branding. All right. Well, they'll name it very creatively, I'm sure. It won't at all sound like a minor league baseball team.
Hilarious, because the team names I can remember that are finalists are like the Utah Blizzard.
That's the way we're going.
The Utah Yeti. Yeah. Absolutely a minor league baseball team.
So my lower third today says, put that tongue back in your mouth, Rodon. Nice. Good. Had a great first inning. Nice first inning. Carlos, well done.
If only baseball games were judged on the first inning.
Yeah. Should be. I think they play more.
Significantly more.
Okay. Just wanted to check in on that, make sure that was the case. All right. So we'll have NFL reaction, overreaction coming up here in the hour. First of all, we got a YouTube comment here from Travis.
Hi, Travis.
Travis says, did you see this? Did you hear about this? It looks like they may have messed up the N in Nebraska on the new basketball court.
What?
And so he's not talking about the center court block N. That one seems to be all good. But it does appear, and I don't know, Josh, you might have to pull up the branding guide here or something like that, because it seems hard to believe that they messed it up, but I don't know. So on the baselines, it says Nebraska, right? In the classic like iron block, font, Nebraska. Everyone's seen it. In the version of the new court that they put on at Pinnacle Bank Arena, the N in Nebraska on the baseline is missing one of its serifs, but just one of the corners. So one of the corners is sans serif.
That serif would be the
serif is like the little.
I don't know how to explain it to the radio audience.
The little bar on the edge, that squares off the letter.
Yeah.
So it has the top left of the N has a serif, the bottom left has a serif, the top right has a serif, but the bottom right does not have a serif.
Wow.
And so people are wondering if Troy Dana needs to buy a new court already. Unclear.
Boy, it sure looks that way.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm not sure. Alan says on the text line,
hi, Alan.
I guess the painter needed a Snickers. What the hell, rookie? I'm not sure. I don't know how these things are made, but I can't imagine it's just a guy like painting. Like
it'd be incredible.
They have these things pretty well thought out in terms of it's pretty precision. So it seems hard to believe that they just forgot to do it. Maybe they just put it into the computer wrong when they were stenciling the whole thing out. But it does appear as if the court, maybe Troy Dannon or Fred Hoiberg or Amy Williams will come out and they'll say, I'll tell you why we're missing the serif, because we're missing the serif just like we're missing a Big Ten championship trophy. We don't have any of those either, and that represents our lack of a Big Ten trophy. Maybe they'll say that. That'd be a good excuse.
Got to make something up.
Okay. Also, I got so just wanted you guys to be aware of that. I got an email yesterday from Jim.
Hi, Jim.
Okay. So this was just right when the show was ending. And we didn't get to it. I wanted to read it. It says, Prelude, I just drove by Host Coffee at 93rd and J, and I began to sing the earworm song. And then, of course, you, the radio station right on cue, played the spot. Classic. But
Classic us.
Not really a conspiracy theory. Here's the conspiracy theory part.
Okay.
I listened to parts of Big Red Overreaction, Michael's Sunday show, and today's morning show, yesterday's. The lack of want to discuss the subpar play of Nebraska's offensive line is amazing to me. Nebraska's running backs continually ran into brick walls and against Rutgers and far too many quarterback hurries and sacks, and yet no one brings it up? ? My theory was furthered today when Rule checked himself about discussing the line play. He mentioned between the tackles and quickly shifted. I can only deduce that the coaches have asked the media to lay off on the offensive line stuff, as their egos must be too fragile for any criticism, no matter how warranted. Next up, did aliens build the pyramids? Thanks, Jim.
Well, Jim, you're on to us.
Josh, are we not? I can't believe he caught us.
We must have been playing it fast and loose with the
we
directives.
We flew a little too close to the sun.
That's right.
Okay, so let's take the question and take the conspiracy part out of it. I can try and tell you why we're not talking about the offensive line.
Okay.
Because I don't think it's a problem.
You don't think it's a problem?
No, I don't.
You think this team can run the ball just outstandingly and can protect the quarterback for days on end?
I think they can protect the quarterback.
Dylan does seem to have a lot of time to throw most of the time.
Yeah, I think they can protect the quarterback actually quite well.
How many times has he been sacked? I can count it on one hand, right?
That I don't know.
I'll look it up. You talk.
Yeah, check it out.
You be the talker.
I think they actually protect pretty well. And so the first part that you mentioned, the former, Josh, was running the ball. And I'll say this. If you have good offensive line play, it does not guarantee you that you'll be able to run the ball well. If you have bad offensive line play, it doesn't mean that you won't be able to run the ball.
Might have been wrong on that.
My guess was somewhere in the neighborhood of like 7 or 8.
Okay, that would be more than one hand.
It would be more. It would be 2 though. Could you count it on 2 hands? Do you have it?
I don't have it.
Wow, they really for that far down the list?
I just saw that even though Raiola was sacked 3 times in 4 plays.
He was. That was the drive against Illinois where he fumbled all those times. I think it feels. How have you not found this yet? Now I'm curious. Offensive sacks allowed. See. Sacks allowed. Nebraska is not on page 1.
That's not good.
Nebraska is on page 2. They've allowed 12. We came to the conclusion at the exact same time. So not on one hand, not on 2, but on 3. You can count how many times Dylan Raiola has been sacked.
Antonio Alfonseca would have been close.
I would say generally he does have some time to throw the football. I think their pass protecting is fine. And I think their offensive line play in the run game is fine. I have very few complaints about the offensive line right now.
So you think the running backs are terrible?
Yes. I've said this for a long time. I don't know how else to say it anymore. We are past the point of me sugarcoating it. I don't think Nebraska's running backs are any good. Why can't Nebraska run the ball? They don't have very good running backs. Do you think Monangai had like just gigantic holes to run through? No, Monangai is so good. He was making people miss. Like, I can't remember the last time Nebraska's running backs made a guy miss. This has been a problem since the offseason, the beginning of the season, and we wondered about it going into the season. I think they'll make do. And for the record, they have made do in the run game. And they're going with the hot hand because that's what they have to do. Is it Emmett Johnson today? Is it Dante Dowdell? I think, and then is it Ramir Johnson in like screen game situations? Is it Gabe Ervin on the goal line? Whatever. I think in situations where you don't have an answer on who to go to, it's because you're trying to figure that out. I don't know how else to say it. I think Nebraska's running backs leave a lot to be desired. And frankly, I think, if we're doing the airing of grievances here at the halfway point, if we're doing basically the Nebraska football Festivus, kind of a good idea. Actually.
That actually is a very good idea for an idle week.
I mean, we've had organic segments before, Josh. Maybe we just do an organic segment right now. Text us with your airing of grievances about Nebraska football right now. This is almost like Situation Alert, and it's almost like what's the other one?
I have an opinion.
I have an opinion.
That's tomorrow.
Which will be tomorrow, by the way, not the Toy Bag.
Tomorrow at noon, I have an opinion.
I have an opinion. Text us your grievances. I have a couple.
Okay.
I think Nebraska's running backs leave a lot to be desired. There's a reason that Rule keeps talking about it. Hey, we have to turn these 6-yard, this is paraphrasing, but we have to turn these 6-yard runs into 12-yard runs. Like, our running backs have to give us more. He said that. Like, I think it's true. And I think Nebraska's wide receivers need to give them more.
Hello. That's a critique I have not heard a lot of other places.
That is something that was discussed. What was it? Probably after the Northern Iowa game or after the Colorado game. It was like, yeah, these guys, Dylan's ahead. Remember, there was the whole conversation of like Dylan's ahead of everybody, right? He's trying to get everybody. I think there's a lot of times where, I see, and I'm talking about all the way up to the top, like Banks and Nair, like run your routes, man. Like run them hard, because Dylan Raiola is so good of a quarterback that he could get the throw. Like I think it is a natural tendency to start looking back in and saying, oh, well, I'm not going to be open here. The quarterback's not going to get it to me, and stop running your route. Or in the case of, there was one on Saturday that I brought up on the postgame show a couple times with Nair, where he was in a one-on-one down the sideline, and he thought he was being held, and maybe he was. He probably was. But he's just...
Everybody's holding everybody now. Nobody knows how to play defense.
But he stopped running his route. And if he kept going, he might have a chance to grab another step, and the ball's thrown, 3 or 4 feet over his head. Maybe he's got a touchdown. I don't know. You never know unless you finish your route. Run your route, right? So I think there's just a little bit of that.
He knows where you're going. He'll get you the ball.
Right. That's
get there.
That's in essence the problem too, right? He's so good that you almost feel like, I can't get it out here, but he can. He actually can, because it's really good.
Cooked. My route's cooked. I'm done.
So run your route, and and I think the answer is a little bit more complicated at running back, because I think Nebraska has a couple guys at that wide receiver spot who are really capable. Like I think Banks and Nair and Lloyd and all those guys are pretty good, and they're certainly capable, right? That's a teaching moment. But with the running backs, maybe they're just not. We see flashes from Dowdell, we see flashes from Emmett Johnson, and we see flashes from whoever else is out there. But I very few and far between have I seen a Nebraska running back basically just do what Monangai did in the first quarter on Saturday, right?
And only the first quarter.
That's true. But take something and get more out of it. Whether it's a 1 into a 2, just falling forward, or something that's going to be bottled up into the backfield. You don't have to run directly into the gigantic pile of people that's in front of you just because you've been told that's where you're supposed to run. Go make a play. So Nebraska's running backs have to be coached or whatever to say, hey, look, go make a play. I don't need to be I don't need him to be running around and trying to run in circles around
don't
everybody.
run backwards.
You don't need to go backwards
and around.
but go make a play. And it just feels like Nebraska's running backs at this point are either leaving some out there or they're just not capable of it.
I can't believe Matt Rule paid you to trash the running backs just so you wouldn't disparage the offensive line.
Damn it. You got me again.
Because if you disparage the O-line, then Donnie's going to be under the hot seat. And if Donnie's under the hot seat, Dylan and Dexter or whatever his name is are going to walk.
What? Dayton.
That's right.
Daxton. John emails in on the Equitable Bank inbox.
Hi, John. The same John?
No.
Okay.
Different John.
Damn.
Not conspiracy theory John. It is well known. This is John that hates Turner Corcoran.
Oh, okay.
It's well known that even without Corcoran playing, the offensive line isn't great. Why bother talking about it?
Why bother talking about it?
Because we got asked about it in a conspiracy theory.
Got to him too.
Interesting. No, I actually think Nebraska's offensive line is fine. I do. I mean, those guys are graded a little bit more abstractly because of there's 5 of them, and every game's a little bit different, and what you're going to get and what Nebraska's trying to do on offense. Like maybe you have to lean on them, maybe you won't. Maybe they're disappeared for the entire game. Like in an ideal scenario, yeah, they kind of are disappeared. But I don't have too many problems with what Nebraska's doing on the offensive line right now. I think Nebraska's leaving yards and first downs and all that stuff out there because of the play of their skill position guys, Sance, Dylan, Raiola at this point. That's where I'm at.
I know one thing.
And it's not Giancarlo's fault.
It's definitely not Giancarlo's fault. I agree with you, Bob.
You put Giancarlo Stanton in at O-line, no problems.
Well, he can't really run, as it was mentioned. It's not his fault.
He doesn't have to run.
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
Just has to stand there. Just block.
Yes, they can.
He's 6'6", 245.
245, that's not heavy enough. You can't play in the Big Ten offensive line at 245. No chance.
We'll put him up to the beef table. He'll be fine.
I'm fine. I'm fine with the offensive line. You good? Are you good? Or is that just I've been paid by Matt Rule line?
Yeah, it's probably fine. They seem to pass pro pretty well.
Oh, well, Rule got you too. Sad to see, Josh.
It's surprisingly
this once great
low.
media has been bought.
Hey, if I point at you in a picture and give you a crisp meat burrito, will you say good things about my O-line? Yes, I will.
I've received this tweet a couple times in the last 7 minutes, so let's just address it here. I got people are adding me from the Barstool Skurs account, which is a great Twitter account.
Can't be good wherever we're about to go.
It says, breaking, University of Nebraska head coach Matt Rule is set to appear on the Talk Tua podcast during his bye week, which is absolutely and definitively not true. But you guys, Fremont Fred and EB, both felt the need to tag me in this tweet. I wish I hadn't seen it, but now I have. I don't have any comments.
She has not tweeted since October 2nd. That's almost a week.
What if she was like, hey, Matt Rule's coming on? That'd be pretty funny.
Well, you got to fact check.
People go on podcasts now of many kinds.
Still
sometimes the president,
a
president candidate,
vice president,
a presidential candidate goes on a sex podcast. Sometimes it happens.
So much more than that. Connor.
That's happened before. All right. Should we just do the NFL reaction overreaction? We should. It's like you guys and your conspiracy theories. It gets too much conspiracy theory radio today.
This podcast is so stupid.
What? Read me a description.
Talk to it. Well, that one I don't think I can read you the title because of FCC regulations.
Great.
JoJo C was the guest.
Yeah.
Dasha is my soulmate.
Mm-hmm.
Hard launch Pookie.
Yeah. Do you know about this thing that people do now? They hard launch.
I don't know what that means.
Yeah. So that means this person has had a boyfriend or like just recently got a boyfriend or girlfriend, like whatever it is.
Now you're trying it out in public.
And by public, it just means put a picture of them on Instagram.
Oh, okay. Is hard launch?
That's what a hard launch is.
Facebook official. Are you too young to know Facebook official?
No, I'm not. No, I'm not. I'm not. Not at all.
You were thinking about it.
No, I was just trying to make sure that was a good one-to-one. I guess so. It's kind of the new version of that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what the kids are doing. They're hard launching. Sometimes they're soft launching as well.
You like take them to a party and like try it out?
No, it's on Instagram still. They'll like put a picture of their hand and like there's like here's a great example. There's like 10 pictures on the slides, and one of them they're like driving down the road, but there's clearly like a dude's hand on her thigh or whatever, and people are like, is that a soft launch? And nobody actually cares about your life, so get a grip. Just a word of advice to everybody else. All right, time for NFL reaction, overreaction. Josh.
Okay. Oh, that's right. We're doing it now.
Yeah, we're gonna do that.
Doing it.
Cut up on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone. Okay, welcome back.
Hi, how we doing?
Doing good. Doing good. Alex writes in on YouTube.
Hello, Alex.
Is the hard launch like when someone puts, like when you put someone first in the MySpace top 8?
Oh,
I also remember that.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, I had MySpace top 8s. Absolutely. You put that song on your MySpace. You can get the different backgrounds of the MySpace. Things like that.
Hurt your eyeballs when you're looking at the page because quite literally everything's moving.
I know. But that was cool.
Oh, yeah.
You can't just have a blank MySpace page. That was not cool. But yeah,
what are you, Tom?
This is kind of, they just got a top friend, a different number one top friend. What kind of drama is going on with the previous friend? Yeah, that's basically what happens on Instagram now. Can't wait to see what's next on TikTok or whatever social media platform is next. Okay, we have NFL reaction, overreaction, Josh. We'll also have Josh's bottom 5 NFL teams.
We will. That's right.
A bit that I cannot wait for. Cannot wait to see if there's any appearances from some unlikely sources.
Oh, you saying I would use my top 5, my bottom 5 to make a statement?
You usually do.
Interesting.
Yeah, you usually do. So we'll have that coming up in a few minutes. But first, reaction, overreaction. Josh, what do we have today?
We begin. Thank you, writers, for your diligent work as always. Take number 1, the Dallas Cowboys Sunday night win over the Steelers will jumpstart their season.
Huh. Interesting. So the Dallas Cowboys are now 3-2.
3-0 on the road.
They have pretty bad vibes, as has been documented. They don't really have a running back. They have lost a couple receivers. Brandon Cooks is going to be out because he had whenever you have a guy out who was going in for a routine cleanup procedure and then it turns out it got infected and then they're probably going to be out the rest of the year or whatever now. That's not good. That's bad vibes.
Right. Not great. Not great.
But they won the game late, of course, on Sunday night. And now they are rewarded with the next month worth of football games against the Detroit Lions, the San Francisco 49ers, the Atlanta Falcons, the Philadelphia Eagles, the Houston Texans, the Washington Commanders. That's all leading up to Thanksgiving with the New York Giants. That's not easy, Josh. I don't know if the Cowboys are as good as really any of those teams that I just mentioned.
They're probably going to go 3-3 over that stretch, and I can't tell you which 3 they're going to win and which 3 they're going to lose.
So I guess my answer to this question is overreaction. They are not. I just don't. I do not believe in this group.
I don't believe in them either. I will say this though, just it is possible. Very unlikely.
It is possible. I'll give you that. It is possible.
Take number 2. The San Francisco 49ers are on the brink.
Well, the brink of what, writers? I mean, let's be more specific here.
Despair.
So they're 2-3. They are notably not healthy. Their losses aren't horrible, right? They've lost to the Vikings, the Rams, and the Cardinals now.
And that Cardinals loss on Sunday, they had like an 85% win probability. Sorry, Bill Simmons. And just really choked it away.
I don't like the vibes here either.
Yeah.
I think there's a reason why these two are both mentioned right off the top. I'm not a buyer in these two. Either of them. What? You're looking at their schedule?
I would like to go through the next 7 games for the Niners.
All right.
At Seattle versus Dallas, at Tampa versus Seattle, at Green Bay, at Buffalo.
This is what happens when you go to the Super Bowl all the time. It's not usually easy for you. There's very few Titans, Raiders.
That's right.
Quarterbackless Dolphins. Like there's not much of that going on. The Patriots, who they already beat so far this year. Yeah, I'm not a buyer in this group either. I don't like the vibes here. Get a little turnover-y, with Purdy.
He's played admirably this season.
I don't know if they're on the brink because we talked about the NFC West with Allan earlier, and it's just a division that doesn't have a real true front runner, I don't think, at the moment. So the flattening just means, okay, they're kind of like the rest of the pack now. It's not going to be as easy for them as it has been over the last couple of years. Nothing's easy in the NFL. I'm not a buyer in this group either. If they were a stonk, I would be selling.
Oh, yeah, you can have all my Niners stock.
Yep.
Take number 3. The Cincinnati Bengals backs broke.
They're finally done. That's what the writers are saying?
Yeah, I think so.
So I have a take about the Bengals.
Okay.
I think the Bengals are morphing into their final form of this kind of mini run that they're on right now with young Burrow and Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I think they are now going to be henceforth the cool stats team. The cool stats team.
Okay, explain that.
Joe Burrow is probably going to throw for 400 yards a game, and they're all going to beat a Jamar Chase. And meanwhile, they don't have a very good run game because they lost Joe Mixon. They don't have a very good defense because they lost everybody. And they'll just be in a bunch of really fun games going forward.
Okay, sure.
They'll just be in a lot of really fun. Like, so they're already, I mean, they're going to be in primetime games. The rest, like, Joe Burrow is appointment television or whatever, right? So they're going to play. Can't stand his hair and kind of his demeanor these days. Yeah. Joe Burrow's kind of gone sour for me.
Ooh.
But they're going to play Sunday Night Football this week
against the Giants. So
against the G-Men.
They'll probably win that game, right?
I don't know. The Browns are bad. They play them after that. But they're going to be in these primetime games. They're going to play the Ravens on a Thursday night in November. They're going to play the Cowboys on a Monday night in December. They're going to play the Browns on a Thursday night in December. A couple Thursday games coming up. Like, they're always kind of going to be in the spotlight, but I don't know if I have faith in them to beat any of these teams. I just, at the end of the day, I don't think they have enough. They'll probably win a few of them, but they're not a playoff team at the moment. Maybe they are good enough, but they've had this tough start to their season now, but they've been in really fun games, right? They lost to the Chiefs close. They lost to the Commanders close. They lost to the Ravens close. Incredibly fun game on Sunday.
They are fun.
I think they're just going to be a fun, cool stats team. And we don't actually have to take them seriously for winning titles anymore.
What a relief.
This is their final form.
Take number 4.
Yep.
Davante Adams is not a Jet yet, and I cannot figure out why.
Is that a take, writers?
I think you're losing the plot here a little bit, writers.
If that's a take, then sure. That's an appropriate reaction. Davante Adams is probably going to be a Jet within the next 48 hours.
No,
right?
Probably about it.
Yeah, okay. Hasn't happened yet.
Mm-hmm.
What an interesting statement by the writers that they wrote on there. Yeah, I think that seems like a pretty that's a pretty good landing spot for him. And I don't know how it'll work. I mean, but if Aaron Rodgers requests that he wants to play with his old teammate from Green Bay, Davante Adams, he's probably going to get it. He's probably going to get that. That would be a market for Davante Adams.
Aaron Rodgers seems to be getting a lot of things he wants in that building.
Maybe it's due to that, or maybe it's due to other things. That Robert Saleh got fired today.
Interesting. Not sure what you mean by that. We go to our final.
This is where you talk, Josh.
The Cleveland Browns are a bottom 5 team with Deshaun Watson at quarterback, and above that with anyone else.
Okay, so the writers had a tough time this week. Oof. So the writers are saying that the take is that they are a bottom 5 team with Deshaun Watson, and they are not a bottom 5 team with, say, their backup quarterback, Jameis Winston. I think that's actually a pretty salient take. I'm actually fine with that. I can't tell you for sure if they're not one of the worst teams in the NFL. If you do bench Deshaun Watson, which they should, don't know why that happens yet.
$230 million guaranteed.
So we were just talking about with Allan, communication and the things that happen in the games and the close-up camera shots and the words that are exchanged. I mean, everybody hates Deshaun Watson. Everybody, his teammates hate Deshaun Watson. So why is he still out there? You were already wrong in your investment. You got to take the L. Sometimes you're wrong. Yeah. Sometimes you pay a quarterback $250 million and he doesn't do jack for you. Like, everybody has to take the L sometimes. Sometimes you pay Gil Mesh like $80 million. Like, it happens. It happens. You just have to take the L Why are you doubling and tripling? It doesn't make any sense to me.
I don't.
He's not coming back. The old Deshaun is not returning.
I get that you paid him, so you would like some return on your investment. But that ain't coming. That's not coming.
No.
There will be no return on that investment.
You are going to dig yourself further and further into the pits of despair.
I guess you can play yourself down in the standings enough to where you can draft a replacement.
Right.
But
yeah, so are they worried that Jameis is going to win too much? Because they have a halfway decent roster.
I've seen Jameis Winston play. I don't think that should be a concern of yours.
No, we love Jameis.
He got that LASIK. He's good now.
With Jameis, here's the thing about Jameis, though. People like him.
That's true. Might be willing to grind for him.
Yeah, you don't want Jameis galvanizing the team, Josh, to your point. That would be a horrible news. Because like I said, they have a good roster. But Deshaun Watson, nobody likes him. He's bad, and he's not coming back. I'm sorry. You just have to eat that one.
Yeah.
Just like Jameis Winston said, we were going to eat a dub. You got to eat the L on this one.
If you came out and told your fan base, hey, look, got it wrong. Sorry. Jameis is starting Sunday. That would actually do quite a bit of good for your PR, just like from galvanizing the fan base. Just like,
guess what would happen? They'd win. I'd bet him to win anyway.
Yeah. Like a Joe Flacco replacement.
It's the opposite of the contract extension fade. It's the Andy Dalton memorial. He's taking over, a new quarterback, new blood, new energy on the team. Or the head coach got fired and the beloved assistant is taking over the helm and they're just gonna let it rip the next week. I love betting those teams every year. I'll do it again whenever Jameis Winston is named the starting quarterback. It does not matter who they're playing. I will bet the Browns.
Just waiting on it.
Yep. So whenever it happens, just make sure I know about it, and it's time for me to bet the Cleveland Browns.
Don't do it at the last minute. Give us plenty of time to drive over to the
I need a heads up.
Casey's.
I need a heads up. Happer's meme guy writes in.
Hi, Happer's meme guy.
Shador Sanders, you are a Cleveland Brown. Are they still thinking Shador is going to be the number one guy?
Kansas State coach Chris Kleiman said he's definitely going to be the first quarterback taken. First one off the board.
Yeah, I can see that.
K-State plays Colorado.
Shador's pretty good, right?
I think so. I'm worried that he might be a little slight of frame, but we can work on that.
We can work on that. Get him in the weight room, stuff like that.
Yeah.
All right. Let's take a break. Thank you, writers. Oh, by the way, we did get a comment that said from Sal.
Hi, Sal.
When you guys say the writers, how many people are we talking about? There's a group of them. I gotta be honest, I haven't met them all.
It's hard to keep track.
It's such a big building, and
we walk around the halls and like, hey, Josh, hey, Connor, I'm one of the writers. I'm like, I've never seen that guy before in my life.
They put the questions or the takes in our mailbox every Tuesday, and then we just go.
They're writers. They're very antisocial. They're not people. So,
And frankly, they don't want to be characters on the show,
right?
Other than us mentioning in an abstract form, like these are the writers.
We've said, hey, it'd be good if you read the questions, and they're like, no, not for us.
So that's who we're talking about. I can't answer. I don't know how many.
I'm like,
I'd assume just a group of 4 to 7.
Couple eggheads,
dudes, chicks, the whole thing.
Yeah.
All right, we are back with Josh's bottom 5 NFL teams. Oh, I've waited a long time for this, and by a long time I mean almost a month since we were at Warner Park, and you did that.
That's right.
But I wasn't present.
You missed a lot.
I wasn't present for most of that segment. Back after this on 1620 The Zone.
fires me up, Josh.
That's the good stuff right there.
That fires me up. I love sports radio, and I love telling teams that they suck.
5 teams in particular need to hear it.
Yeah, they do. It's better that they do.
Mm-hmm.
It's better that they hear. We could do a bottom 5 Big Ten teams starting next week if you wanted to. I don't care. I just love hearing that song.
There's a lot of teams in the Big Ten.
There are. There's gonna be 3 of them that don't make the Big Ten basketball tournament this year
for some reason.
Normal, very normal.
Feels like 16 was probably the right way to do that bracket. But
all right, Josh, who sucks? Who sucks?
God, come on, take forever.
Number 5.
Connor, you were right. I'm absolutely going to make a statement with number 5.
I figured you might.
Look,
is it going to be a winning team?
No.
Okay.
I could have went that route. There's a couple of them.
Yeah, there are.
But I decided it's not as much fun to tell you that Gardner Minshew is a terrible quarterback and the Raiders might not have a very fun time this football season. So I plucked them out and I put the Cincinnati Bengals in here because the Cincinnati Bengals suck.
Their defense is bad.
They cannot win a football game.
Well, yeah. So this is a rare inclusion on the list because from the, I don't know if you were doing the Pythagorean Bengals record, it's not 1-4. They're better than what their record shows.
That's right.
But
they have given up 145 points this year.
That's true as well.
Most in the league.
I mean, their point differential is -5.
Right.
That's not usually a 1-4 team. In fact, in some cases, it could be even like a winning team.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you never know. But I actually don't think they're that bad. But it needs to be recognized. Like they're 1-4. You're cooked at 1-4.
Yeah, you kind of have to rub their nose in it. They're 0-3 at home.
Yeah, and people are like, "Oh, well, their schedule has been so hard." Well, the schedule never stops being hard. For anybody.
They're a good team in a tough division.
Yeah. I love when people talk about strength of schedule in the NFL, and we always run through them too when we're talking about our teams in their overreaction segment. But it's just like, yeah, anyone could lose at any time. There's a reason why that everyone every week is a touchdown or less. You know, it's touchdown or less spread. So yeah, they suck, but not really. But I support the inclusion on the list, Josh.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Number 4.
Number 4.
What to do with the New England Patriots?
Now, this is a team who might suck less than we initially thought.
I think that's fair. I think at some point they're also going to make a quarterback change.
I have thought that too. Not really sure why.
I've done this before. I've looked up their bye week, and it's not for a very long time. Yeah, it's in December, their bye week.
It is. Yeah, it's December 8th or 7th, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the Patriots are definitely not good. We planned on them being here, a mainstay on this list for basically the entire year. And then to everyone's surprise, in week 1, they went out and beat the Bengals, your other worst 5 teams.
It's like, whoa, hey, wait a minute.
They have a pretty dysfunctional offense. They have a fine defense.
Yeah.
Ramondre Stevenson was the bright spot, and now it's kind of a little bit more. There's some more Antonio Gibson that's in there as well. And yes, 800-year-old Jacoby Brissett is still their starter. It's still happening. It never ends for Jacoby Brissett.
In 12 days, I would invite everyone to wake up early, turn your television on to NFL Network.
Oh, yeah.
And watch the New England Patriots take on the Jacksonville Jaguars
from
London.
I thought that was going to be one of those weirdo like Germany games or something.
Munich.
Are there any Germany games this year?
I would guess so, but I don't.
I'll find out. You can keep going.
Recall.
You can keep going with.
All right, bottom 5 teams in the NFL.
There is a Germany game. This.
Who's got it? Who's got it?
Well, who, as in what German city has it?
No. It's Munich.
It
right?
is Munich.
Okay.
But the question that you're asking is who's playing?
Mm-hmm.
That'd be the Carolina Panthers and the New York Giants.
Ooh.
Enjoy.
And next year,
we export some of our nation's finest teams overseas.
And next year, whoever drafts Heinrich Harburg will play in that game.
There you go. He's getting drafted.
Mr. H returns home.
Oh, no.
3. Combination of 3 and 5.
Number 3.
This team didn't play on Sunday.
Oh, but they still are bad?
They're still bad. They're the team I root for, and I almost forgot to include them on this list.
They do suck.
They're the Tennessee Titans, and their quarterback is Will Levis.
Kind of. Sometimes.
Sometimes. They're not good, Connor.
Nope, that's a bad football team.
29th in the league in passing yards.
Surprised it's that high.
You're going to want to be better than that.
Will Levis loves throwing the ball to the other team.
He does.
It's just one of his favorite things.
Just throw it right on the ground.
Because you wouldn't do it. You wouldn't do it as much as he does if you didn't really love it.
Mm-hmm. It's a grind for him each and every day.
It's very hard. It's very hard. Should I check on the Will Levis? Do you want to hear Will Levis's stat line so far this year?
Yeah, why don't you read me that? I'll bet it's terrific. Titans Colts this weekend in Nashville, by the way.
Good. Joe Flacco.
Yeah.
Joe Flacco.
67
for 98, which is actually a pretty decent completion percentage.
Yeah.
604 yards, 4 touchdowns.
I would not have guessed 4.
6 interceptions.
Okay. That's about where I would have guessed.
Yeah.
Interceptions.
Mason Rudolph has come in.
That's right.
And also, oh no, he has not thrown a pick yet. That's probably why he's going to play.
He quarterbacked them to a gritty win against the Miami Dolphins.
I saw the grit. I saw
You
it.
did?
Oh, I saw it.
You were one of the 11 people that watched?
Oh, hey, people watched that game.
You, me, and Nick Grimm?
Well, there was the other game was going on at the same time, and it was a good one. And I was like, you know what? I'm kind of attracted to this.
Sickos
action. This is nice. Also, I had Tony Pollard in fantasy.
Ah, there it is.
Here comes 2.
Number 2.
Curious. This will be very interesting.
There we go.
We've knocked out some bad teams already, Josh.
We have really bad teams. I am putting it number 2, the Carolina Panthers.
All right. Okay, so we're gonna have a take at number 1. Can't wait. Yeah, no argument here. These guys really stink.
They have scored 83 points this year.
Mm-hmm.
Worst in the NFC.
Mm-hmm. How many points have they allowed, Josh?
165.
Where's that rank?
The most in the NFC.
Yeah. Probably in the NFL, I would imagine. Maybe sans Bengals?
165 is worst in the National Football League.
There you go.
They are last in points against at 33 points per game. 26th in passing, 19th in rushing, 29th in scoring.
Mm-hmm. Every once in a while, it'll go over to their game on Red Zone, and it'll be like, oh, there goes Chuba Hubbard. He's scoring a touchdown.
Plugging away over there.
Oh, Xavier Legette just caught a screen pass for 6 yards. They're in the red zone, and that's it. We never see him again. That was the case on Sunday.
Yeah, they're bad.
Yeah, they're very bad.
You know it. I know it. We all know it.
I don't think the Bears are very good, and that game was never really close. Although there was some fighting going on.
Oh,
if you're into that.
Interesting.
Yep.
But Connor, everyone would assume the Carolina Panthers are by far the worst team in the league.
I would have.
How could they not be in the bottom?
So, number 1.
Number 1.
Because as long as the Cleveland Browns are trotting out that nasty ass Deshaun Watson,
he is gross
as their quarterback,
sick.
It needs to be mentioned.
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
Also that, thank you, Bob Costas, but Deshaun Watson is a scourge on humanity, let alone the National Football League. Nobody likes him.
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
It's not.
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
No.
That's for sure.
Just out here
This is the thing that makes him so gross, though. Not him. I said them. All right. I'm not going to discuss what makes Deshaun Watson so gross. This team, they should be a lot better than they are.
Yeah. Aren't they supposed to have like one of the best defenses in the league?
I mean, they're good. Like, they have a good roster. They have a good roster.
They have tied for 23rd in points against.
Yeah.
30th in passing yards. 30th in points.
Deshaun Watson doesn't do anything. Probably because they don't let him, because they don't trust him, because he's not good. Every time I watch them, he's getting sacked. And it's not because he doesn't have time. He has all the time in the world. He just can't get rid of the ball. 26 sacks Deshaun Watson has taken this year. 26 sacks.
Sounds like a lot.
Yeah. It's too many. I'm
going to bet it is.
That'd be my opinion. I don't have any problem with this. I don't think they actually are the worst team in the NFL, but it may end up that way if they just keep playing Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, just swallow your pride. Do you want to win games, or you want to look good on a spreadsheet?
This is the thing, Josh, and this is what I was saying in the last segment. Like, everybody wants this.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone wants him to be benched. Everyone, the team, the fans, the people, the other teams.
I'm sure
the other fans.
I'm sure the coach.
Me,
mind.
you, the coach, everyone. Why are we not doing it? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense.
I'll bet Kevin Stefanski. I'm not listening to Brown's post-game press conferences, but I imagine he's not like outwardly defending his guy.
There's definitely somebody in Cleveland saying right now, like, it's not all on him.
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
There's definitely somebody saying that. Just, it's not Deshaun's fault.
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
He just needs more time.
He just and if he gets more time, then
yes, they can.
Yes, they can. All right, thank you, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
It's a good bottom 5 NFL teams. The 1 o'clock hour is coming up. We'll talk to Jacob Bigelow on the other side. Talk some football, maybe some hoops, even as well.
Talk about this big drama over the basketball court.
Yes, sans serif. Derek wondered earlier, where's the serif sheriff?
They need one.
They need one. Also, the return of the Big Ten stock report.
Hello.
Coming up in the hour. Back after this on the Connor Happer Show on 1620 The Zone.
up!
That's the country song, right? Remember when?
Thank you.
Jacob Bigelow.
Yeah. Whenever my open is concocted, throw that in there.
He's on fire!
Jacob Bigelow, Huskers Illustrated, on the Connor Happer Show, on 1620, The Zone.
Boom shakalaka!
Yeah, a story that we didn't get to yesterday. We'll talk to Jacob Bigelow here in just a second. You see the Indiana coach, whom I love and adore greatly for all the words that he says on a daily basis, Curt Signetti. He had a fire edit made to his contract yesterday. If they make an appearance in a bowl game, which they will,
they're bowl eligible.
An automatic 1-year contract extension and a $250,000 pay increase immediately goes into effect. That is quite the deal just for making a bowl game. Nice job, Signetti.
Wow, what a low bar.
This increase means the additional contract year is now scheduled to be worth $5.1 million and add at least $3.3 million in guaranteed value to the deal, which would run all the way through the end of 2030. He gets a $200,000 bonus at the end of the season, and he gets a $500,000 increase over the current budget for Indiana football assistant coaches, strength coaches, operations staffs beginning next year. $500,000 more dollars to spend to hire people. Last year, he was making $555,000 as the head coach at James Madison, which he basically still is because he brought the whole team, and now is just the coach at Indiana. We're joined now on the 42 Degrees of Source hotline by our dear friend, Jacob Bigelow of Huskers Illustrated and the Stretch Big Pod. Jacob, good afternoon, my friend. How are you?
I'm doing swell, Hap. How are you doing?
Good. Have we gotten on the same page on Signetti? Like, are you picking up what he's putting down over the last couple of weeks?
I mean, I'm not anti by any means.
Oh, I am.
I think I went on my soapbox about how college football needs characters, but
that's right.
Hey, I'll just say this about the guy. I mean, he coached Phillip Rivers when he was at NC State. He recruited Russell Wilson to NC State. He was on Nick Saban's first staff. Coached Julio Jones. Recruited Mark Ingram. I mean, he's been around the block. I mean, he's done his thing, and I can see how he's not for everyone. And there will be plenty of discourse around him next week, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, Big Noon going to Bloomington. That's a pretty big deal, and welcoming in Nebraska, and they're going to be the favorite in the game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. No, just like we all expected before the season, Nebraska's first appearance on Big Noon to be in Bloomington, Indiana.
Yeah, and
like
the underdog in said game, which is pretty amazing. Okay, so let's get to the business of the day here. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? The new Nebraska basketball court at Pinnacle Bank Arena. Nebraska, good. I'm glad. I assume you've heard about it. Now, here's what people might not know. They did a little hype video or whatever, a drone shot video this morning, and they showed it with a little bit greater detail. And it's the Nebraska basketball court. But if you are to look closer, the N on the baseline in Nebraska is missing a serif. Is this a purpose? Now, we were calling the serif sheriff. I don't know if that's you. Does Nebraska need a new court already? Did they make a mistake on this one?
I mean, they did clearly make a mistake. I don't know if I'm going to call myself serif sheriff, but if they were looking to, make that court as boring and as run of the mill as possible, they accomplished that mission. It looks exactly like the court at the Kohl Center in Madison.
Oh, it does. Oh no.
So no wonder Connor Artesian felt right at home. He's been playing on a court that looks exactly like that for the last 2 years. But it's pretty boring. It's pretty bland. But it is new. It is now the third court in the 11-year history of Pinnacle Bank Arena.
It is. Rate the PBA courts over the years.
I like this last one.
Court 2.
And yes, I'm a Court 2 guy, and then I think the contrast was just too much on the original Court. There was too many different wood tones going on, so I'll put that at number 2.
Agreed completely. I think there was like, it was too like weirdly dark. I like how they brightened up the second one. This one's just too bland. That's the thing on this one.
Yes. So this one is a distant third. It is very very boring, very very bland. I wonder what they did with this most recent Court. I'm sure they probably just replaced it, but you'd hope maybe it could sneak over to the Devaney Center, make some use of it at the Devaney Center for those lower class state tournament games. Or an event like this coming Sunday, something like that.
Exactly, like you're doing an open squad scrimmage. Put it down over there instead of playing on the weird court with 100 lines from various volleyball courts and different sizes of basketball courts over the years. That seems like a very easy use for this.
Absolutely.
All right, Jacob. So media days, how was it? I think this is going to be our last basketball question for now before we get to football. What'd you take away? What are the things that it seemed to be kind of the same old, I guess, from Fred Hoiberg, but was there anything that stood out to you in the either at media days or in the things that came out from it?
From the Nebraska side, not really. It kind of felt like deja vu. I mean, they're not being thought of in the upper echelon of the Big Ten, but that's kind of right where they want to be. Especially hearing from Bryce Williams and Juwan Gary, it was definitely a little bit a quiet confidence from Bryce Williams. Not as quiet, but still confident from Juwan Gary for sure. I'm really going to enjoy one more season of hearing Juwan Gary. He's a really good quote, but. Not really much from the Nebraska perspective. I think they're right where they want to be. Fred Hoiberg really likes this group. We heard some rave reviews about some other pieces that weren't in attendance at media day, like Berke, Buchengel, and Riley Worcester. So from the Nebraska perspective, not much. And then general Big Ten, just a lot of talk about how coaches really like getting old and staying old and having old rosters. So there's a lot of that throughout the day.
Shocking. That's classic college. Now, to be fair, they're on to something. It is good when you can get old and stay old. Like there's a reason that they say that all the time. But yes, it is a bit of a tired line. Nebraska's taken the advice though. They have gotten old and they have stayed old, mostly because they've gone back to the transfer portal several times over and over and over again and have grabbed some experienced older players. I don't have a problem with it. I continue to like the way that the rosters have been kind of shaped up over the last 2 years, Jacob.
Yeah, I have too. This group especially. I mean, you saw 2 60-year guys at media day in Williams and Gary. 3 of the 6 portal guys they brought in are 5th-year guys, Mia, Morgan, and Worcester. I mean, they're the guys who have played a lot of basketball. And the difference with this year's group, the guys they brought in, they all played power conference. 5 of the 6 played power conference basketball last year. Different from last year's group, which was a lot of mid-major guys taking a leap. But it's definitely become the theme across college basketball, getting old and staying old.
What are the vibes right now for you football-wise halfway through the season? At 5-1, I think people would have probably taken that record. Maybe they wouldn't have been over the moon about it. But given how it's played out inside of those 5 games, Jacob, and now we can kind of pull back a little bit instead of looking at it from an individual game-to-game thing, and people tend to get really caught up in the moment after each time Nebraska plays. If you take all the 6 together, what do you like so far about this group, and how might it carry over to the second half football-wise?
You got to start with the defense, right? I mean, that was kind of a master class from them on Saturday. They were, Ty Robinson was in, not Ty Robinson, Nash Hutmacher. Different, same, defensive linemen. Yeah. They were in the little side session after the game. And Nash said that, that goal line stand felt eerily similar to the one at Illinois. And, by the end of last year, we kind of heard how much of a galvanizing, moment that was last. I don't think this group needed to be galvanized by any means. I think there's still plenty in front of them. Their goals are, still out in front of them. But it's got to, start with that defense, and they, that'll keep them in, games the rest of the way for sure. We heard all, spring and summer that Matt Rule expected this group to be in close games, and when you've got that defense on your side, it'll keep you in them for sure. The offense obviously it starts with number 15, who for the first time kind of looked like a freshman, but it took until his 6th game of the year, and there are definitely people are going to still have questions about play calling and running game and all that sort of thing. But I mean, halfway through the season, you can't have asked for much more from young Dylan Raiola for sure.
I will say this from what you said there at the beginning, Jacob, and like the vibe change, and if the vibes were kind of off over the last couple of weeks, leading, I guess, coming off of Illinois and going into Purdue, and then into the first half of Purdue, it was like, what is this? This is just a little bit different from what I expected. They were able to correct course in the second half against Purdue, and then I felt like they really carried that into Rutgers, regardless of how the second half went. I think you're on to something with whatever that Michigan to Illinois week was in 2023 to maybe the 2024 version of that is Illinois to Purdue week. There's something in there.
Yeah, something over the last 2 weeks for sure, because we heard, post game on Saturday, this was the hardest week of practice the defense had. I know people don't want to hear that weeks of practice, but they talked about how hard the defense practiced going into this past week's game, and then Rule said it might have been the hardest the defense had practiced in his 2 years here, and that's something that he's going to want to not going to want. He is going to demand that a constant as Nebraska is a good defensive team. So that kind of stood out to me after the game on Saturday. But it could be I think it could be similar. Something a bounce back of sorts, at least from the mental standpoint for that side of the ball.
I think so. Jacob Bigelow is with us. We got a question earlier about conspiracy theories about the offensive line and why we don't talk about it that much. I know we love to talk about that here in this state, and I know Nebraska's not running it like, they're not running it great right now, but how would you assess that picture up front, and how much of it is due to what Nebraska is doing, like what they're doing in the run game, and their successes or lack of successes due to either the offensive line or the running backs? Like, where do you come out on that situation, and why Nebraska hasn't been able to do it quite as well as some people want them to?
That's a good question, and that's ironic because that's kind of what was going to be my bye-week little side project, was looking at some O-line, pass pro, run game type stuff. But
grind some tape.
I'm trying to put grind some tape, get in the film room a little bit. But I'm trying to. I would like to have a definitive answer on that. I think that the pass protection has been pretty good, and then I think the run game remains kind of the second big question with this team. Obviously, special teams still remains the proverbial elephant in the room, despite the masterclass from Mr. Buschini this past weekend. I think that it still remains a question. The running game, I think it has more so to do with the running back room than the guys up front, and that may be a hot take to some, but I think it has more so to do with the vision and tendencies of some of the running backs more so than it does with the offensive line.
That's the direction I lean, but I haven't grinded the tape. I look forward to that. What do you got coming up on the podcast, by the way? I know that there's some cool stuff you have on the horizon for us.
Yeah, so this week I'm going to be chatting with Tate Frazier from The Ringer. He's been a pretty prominent college basketball podcast host for a while. Used to do a show with Mark Titus, used to produce Bill Simmons' show, and I've been listening to him do basketball podcasts for a really long time. So that's going to be more big picture college basketball. And then, Sunday we've got this Nebraska open scrimmage, and by the end of the month is their exhibition game. So college basketball will be here before we know it. Still working on some guests, to ramp up to the season, and maybe there'll be some football stuff mixed in on the pod too, but trying to do it big this year, kind of swinging for the fences with all that stuff.
Looking forward to it, Jacob. Appreciate the time as always, my friend. We'll talk to you soon.
No, same to you guys. Have a good rest of the week.
Jacob Bigelow of Huskers Illustrated. You could find him there or on the Stretch Big pod. Basketball Sickos talking about basketball stuff. When I listen to podcasts, Josh, I just want to listen to people who are like obsessed with the thing that they're talking about. I'm obsessed with this.
Get in the weeds.
Yeah. And there you go. Our dear sicko is obsessed with college basketball.
Yeah.
And the weird stuff that happens in college basketball. Like Big East projections. He probably won't get into the Big East projections that much. But Josh from CBS Sports Today.
Hello.
You know who the preseason Big East Player of the Year is from the many CBS Sports writers who voted?
UConn.
No. Sorry, Player of the Year.
Oh, Player of the Year?
Yep.
Is it our tree man?
It is Mr. Tree.
Wow.
Himself.
Groot.
I am Groot.
Player of the Year.
It's Ryan Kalkbrenner, who has a chance to win Defensive Player of the Year conference for the 4th time in a row. I was watching them practice 2 weeks ago now, and I'm really interested in them without like all of the offensive pieces that they like. Trey and Baylor, leaving that hole on offense, so you're kind of almost forced to give it to him a little bit. And I don't think this group is like 1 to 5 nearly as good as probably they were on defense last year. And so if they are to be as good defensively, the Ken Palm numbers at the end of the year got to be top 25 if Creighton is. It'll pretty much be exclusively because of Ryan Kalkbrenner or the defensive versatility of a guy like Jason Green. Something like that. Because, I mean, they're small at guard. We'll see what happens on the wing. And there's Jason/Mason. And then there's Kalkbrenner. That's not a very good defensive 1 to 5. It's not. But it has one incredible defender. And, Mac has shown before that they could funnel guys into him with the best of them. Jay's picked third in the CBS Sports poll before the season
Love
starts.
it when they doubt the Jays.
Love it when they doubt the Jays.
May I read you a tweet from Rick Pitino before we go to break?
Please read me a tweet from Rick Pitino.
This is 3 hours ago.
I love the movie Goodfellas.
He does.
That's what it says, right?
No.
Oh.
After scrimmage last night, a question was asked. How does Big East stay dominant in the basketball landscape with all these super leagues forming? My response is that we must be proactive and build a basketball super league with 18 to 20 teams. Inactive loses, proactive wins.
So
Connor, your thoughts?
He's saying to everybody else, join the Big East.
Join the Big East. Come on down to the Big East.
Interesting. That's fun. My answer to Rick Pitino's question would be just keep doing you, man. The Big East is such a unique thing.
Yeah. It's its own weird little hotbed.
It is. And there's
Johnny Fanta running around.
Yeah, there will be a market for that for a very, very long time. People will not get sick of that. It's ingrained in us.
The garden never gets old.
No, it really doesn't. That would be my advice, but you never know. All right, we'll be back. The Big Ten stock report is coming up on the other side. Who's buying? Who's selling? Are you holding? Coming up on 1620 The Zone. Hockey Dad writes in.
Hi, Hockey Dad. Happy opening day.
That's what he said. He said, I can't believe you guys haven't talked about NHL opening day.
Actually talked about it 3 times.
Yeah. We said, well, I asked the very
brief.
astute question, do they have bunting?
Yes.
Not like bunting in baseball games, but like, the bunting that they
red,
put
white,
up.
and blue.
The red, white, and blue,
Yeah,
little half flags that they put up everywhere. It's opening day, right? It's bunting. So I beg to differ, Hockey Dad. We have talked about it. Also, Josh mentioned the new Utah hockey team.
Mm-hmm.
And he was wondering why the Krakens were playing at 1:30.
Seems weird. Seems like a weird time to start a game in Seattle.
1:30 Central. Or what? 1:30 Pacific.
That's right.
I suppose. All right, Big Ten stock report, Josh.
What are we doing? We holding?
I'll tell you. There was some movement this week.
Really?
There was some movement. I'm going to be a little bit, if I'm an investor or if I'm, an investor in the stock market, I'm going to be a bit aggressive.
Okay, I was going to ask, what's your
my strategy is not particularly conservative. All right. So we're moving some around. We're buying, we're selling, we're wheeling and dealing. I'm an active investor in the Big Ten stock market. So last week we had Oregon and USC in the buy category. We now have 3 teams in the buy category.
Okay.
One of them is still Oregon.
Sure.
Still a buyer in Oregon. I'm now buying Ohio State because I actually think that stock is sort of underrated at the moment.
Yeah, very, very workmanlike, very ho-hum. What are they, 5-0, 6, 5-0?
They haven't been tested yet.
Yeah.
But they will this weekend.
You would think.
And I am now adding a buy. Buy, Josh.
A new buy.
Yeah. The Nebraska Cornhuskers.
Buy.
Buy.
Oh!
This is as low as you're going to get them.
Better get us now.
I guess suppose you could have bought them after Illinois.
Sure.
But you've been able to string a couple games together against, whatever. The team, Purdue's not good, obviously. But Nebraska ran away with that thing in the second half. They won a close game. They did the same thing against Rodgers. Their defense is really good, and they're not turning the ball over. They're getting turnovers. They're getting sacks. They have a quarterback who is better than just about everybody else in the league. And so, I know their history wouldn't suggest this, given that they have sucked at winning close games for as long as we can remember now.
1-0 in their last one.
They
score
actually have the look of a team who is going to be in close games and win them. Down the stretch. Oh. And I like the vibes. I like the vibes right now. I think it's time to buy Nebraska.
I do too. Hopefully, they've. I know we want to get moving here, but they got the one score monkey off their back. Hopefully, they can get the win a game they're not supposed to win monkey off their back.
There's not that many opportunities for those, though.
I would agree.
It's really just Ohio State and USC, isn't it?
I would think so.
The other ones are like 50-50 close, like those are going to be close games.
You're going to be a dog to Indiana, but it wouldn't shock the college football world if Nebraska beat Indiana.
No, but it would do a lot of great things for me. It would shut up this whole Indiana thing.
Google the score.
This is going to reach absurd levels before next Saturday.
We got a long time, Connor. Pace yourself.
I know. I've been mad for weeks. I'm still mad. Still mad about Bob Costas, for the record, as well. Josh, let me hit the Costas drop here. Sorry.
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
So maybe I'm just looking for things to be angry about. Those are my buys. Doesn't mean that Oregon, Ohio State, and Nebraska are all on the same level. I'm just saying buy for what people think they are.
Sure.
So that means I'm not buying USC anymore.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna hang on to that one.
Not a great loss.
I'm just gonna hang on to that one. I'm gonna put it in my pocket because I like them, but it's not probably a good time to buy. A lot of others have stayed put. Rutgers, Michigan, Minnesota.
Can I hit pause on Minnesota right here?
You may.
Because something about Minnesota has just come across my desk, come across the wires.
What is it?
I'm going to read you the story from KFan 100.3.
All right, this is in Minneapolis Sports Radio.
PJ Fleck made Minnesota players drink an antidote of confidence capsule, which contained Sprite after losing to Michigan. Saturday, the Gophers upset USC.
Isn't an antidote what you drink if you are trying to get rid of something?
That's right, Connor. What the hell's going on up there?
All right. I'm going to go ahead and click on that one real quick.
On 3 posted it. I saw it from our friend Josh Peterson.
This is an Adam Rittenberg story.
I got one from Nick Costco, if you'd like me to send that your way.
Yeah, just read it.
Oh, okay.
If you got it, just read it.
Okay. Minnesota coach PJ Fleck had an interesting anecdote regarding the Gophers' win over USC this weekend. Well, actually, it was an antidote, to be precise. Then the tweet is in there. The tough Michigan loss led to the win, he says. Fleck might be right, considering the Gophers had the Wolverines on the ropes.
Wait a minute. Does anybody know what antidote means?
Feels like that would be the immediate follow-up.
Quote, the antidote, we call it the antidote. The antidote this week was all confidence, belief, confidence. My pregame speech was 10 seconds. Let it rip. That's it. That's all I told them. And they did. They let it rip.
An antidote is a cure.
An antidote is like if you have been bitten by a spider and you need to rid yourself of the poison, you take the antidote. Right? I just want to make sure 100% clear that we got this right. Okay.
Antidote, a medicine taken or given to counteract a particular poison.
That's exactly what I thought. All right. Good job, PJ. I'm not buying that stock yet. Understandably so.
That guy's weird, man.
Yeah. Illinois, Penn State, Indiana, Iowa remains the same as well.
Diamond strong hands.
Here's a couple that have gone up from sells to let's put this one in the back pocket.
Okay.
Washington.
Yeah.
And Wisconsin.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I just think Purdue's that bad.
So here, I was thinking about them quite a bit over the weekend, and there's no doubt that Purdue is bad. There's no doubt about that.
Okay.
So Wisconsin is 3-2. They're 1-1 in the league. They lost to USC. They get Rutgers coming up. Huge Wisconsin-Rutgers game on Saturday. And then Northwestern. And then it gets really tough for them down the stretch. And that's when the wheels could fall off a little bit. But for now, I feel like, they could find their way to get to a couple more wins before the wheels fall off at the end of the season.
They could get to 5 and be scrambling for that 6th one in the last month of the season.
Looking for it. And you'd be looking for it amongst the likes of Penn State, Iowa, Oregon, Nebraska, and Minnesota.
Don't love their chances.
We'll see. You're
not ready.
Yeah. Jacob Padilla writes into the show.
Hi, Jacob.
On Twitter. It took Fleck 10 seconds to say, let it rip. That was his quote. He's like, I only gave a 10-second speech. I just said, let it rip. That only took me 0.75 seconds just then.
Hey, guys, listen up. When my hand goes up, your mouth goes shut.
How about this? Okay.
Let it rip.
So the antidote, is he taking the antidote to losing? Is he trying to cure the losing mentality?
Right. I believe it was
but he said
incorrectly.
Antidote of confidence.
Antidote of confidence would be
negativity, bad thoughts.
I guess unless he's saying the antidote is confidence.
The antidote, but that's not what I read.
That's not the way it reads.
That's not what the quote was.
Yeah.
All right. And here's stonks that I'm selling.
Get rid of these. You're already too late.
Yeah, but most of these are still the same. If you're probably too late on these. Purdue.
Sure.
Michigan State.
Not going to happen.
Maryland. Many a years I see Maryland starting off well.
It is October.
Yep. Northwestern.
Sure.
That's a bad football team. And down from a hold position last week. Welcome to the darkness, UCLA.
Yeah, not a great team this year. They are in Los Angeles, though.
They have had a really, really rough start to their season from a schedule perspective, obviously.
So much travel.
But it just, like, it doesn't get any, a lot of talk about the whole travel thing, too. James Franklin, triggered. James Franklin wants a bigger airport. He's like, I think they need to build us a bigger airport. He said I was watching his press conference yesterday. He was like, our runway isn't long enough, so we have to bus to Harrisburg to get on this long cross-country flight. He says we either have to bus to Harrisburg or we have to stop for jet fuel halfway across, like in Lincoln or something like that. We have to stop for gas on the plane.
What?
Because our runway isn't long enough. We can't fit that much fuel on the plane to get all the way across the country to go play USC this weekend. And so he's like, they need to build the Big Ten with all this money. You know, I'm paraphrasing, but basically he was saying, hey, look, we got all this money now. Maybe it'd be a nice time for Happy Valley to make the investment. And
oh my God.
Get some longer runway.
Connor, that's a 2-hour bus ride to Harrisburg.
I know. It's a disaster.
Wow.
Yeah. It's a total mess.
Well,
they're the ones that put the college in the middle of nowhere. It's not my fault.
Sucks to suck.
Build a bigger airport. UCLA gets Minnesota, Rutgers, Nebraska, Iowa, Washington, USC, and Fresno.
Oh, God.
To finish off their season. Josh, I don't see them. I really don't see them winning one singular conference game this year.
Seems that way.
Yeah.
Sad.
It is sad. You know, UCLA, it's us and USC. We're in LA.
We're in LA.
I guess for James Franklin not having an airport, it's not really his fault.
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
It's not Giancarlo's fault. They don't have an airport. That's the Big Ten stock report.
Thanks, Bob Costas.
Thank you, Bob Costas. And Giancarlo, remember, it's not your fault. We're back after this with the polls. We'll tell you what to watch on 1620 The Zone. Once again, I'd like to repeat that you guys can stop tagging me in this Talk Tua thing. Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't. Tag Gary, all right?
You don't
tag Gary.
Gary knows, okay?
Yeah.
You don't have to tag
him.
Gary. That guy's plugged in to Talk Tua.
Let him handle it. Poll questions at Happer Show.
We got them
on the JTech Construction Zone Twitter feed. We have 3. One of them doesn't make any sense.
What?
I'll explain.
Okay.
Were the Vienna sausages stolen? I don't remember. Were they?
It was unclear. They never got to the bottom of it.
But it felt like they were,
It
right?
felt like there was an accusation of stealing, yes.
67% say yes. 2 out of 3.
Okay.
Would you air a Dakota Johnson?
Oh, no!
To a plane full of passengers.
I get it now.
That's what doesn't make sense.
Damn it.
I would not air a Dakota Johnson. I would also not air a Dakota Johnson movie to a plane full of passengers.
I'm sorry. That was on me, guys. I point the thumb.
56% were confused and said no.
Sure.
And finally, and most importantly,
most voted on poll question of the day.
Is it Giancarlo's fault?
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
That's what Bob Costas said. He votes no.
It's not his fault. He's a broken down slow butt.
I think I should vote no because Bob Costas is an American hero.
He is the preeminent baseball voice in America.
I voted no. 78% say yes, though. It was indeed Giancarlo's fault.
Interesting.
It's not Giancarlo's fault.
You're saying Bob Costas is wrong, America.
Yes, they can.
Hit the short. Witt gets the force. Can they turn 2? Yes, they can, and it's just the point we were making. It's not Giancarlo's fault. A near base hit. Couldn't beat it out at the other end. Turns into a double play.
So bad.
He hops over that next sentence real quick.
Yes,
after
he
yes,
can. Yes, he can. Be more sad, Bob. Be more sad. All right. Those are the polls, Josh. What are we watching tonight?
We're watching Bob Costas read CNN copy. It puts him in a bad spot.
Oh, yeah. That was another one that happened last night. He forgot that he was on the air, and they handed him some CNN liners, and he was like, CNN? And everyone could hear him. This is while the game was happening, for the record.
You'd think you'd be better at knowing when a broadcast was going and when it wasn't.
You'd think you'd be better at broadcasting.
Yeah. NLDS, pair of game 3s today. Phillies, Mets, game 3. Series is tied
Josh,
at 1.
are you finally joining the rest of America on the LGM train? LFGM? LGM? Come on.
I'm driving Big Meteor. Okay.
No, if Big Meteor is not an option, it isn't.
It is. You don't know what could happen.
Let's go Mets. They're magical. They're magical, Josh. And who wouldn't want a Mets Royals World Series?
Did you see Grimace get on the subway? Grimace has given us magical powers.
Yeah, but Josh, the Phillies, you have to admit, the Phillies making it would be worse for you.
I mean, they kind of expected them to make it. I guess it'd be hilarious if they didn't.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
No,
go Mets!
I don't know. I genuinely don't know what to do.
LGM.
That game's on FS1. It'll be followed by Dodgers Padres game 3 at Petco.
That's Big Meteor.
Will anyone throw a baseball at Manny Machado
Probably.
tonight? Because
maybe one of the pitchers for the Dodgers.
Yeah, but you would have to immediately throw that person out and suspend them the rest of the series, right?
Just throw them out. Yeah, that's all.
Okay. Got a college football game tonight, Connor.
I have a text.
Oh, you have a text, please.
It reads, if the Mets make the World Series, Josh has to wear a Grimace costume and produce the show as Grimace. Deal?
Deal.
Josh is here for the bit. We love him for it.
Yep.
All right, Grimace. If
bet.
the Mets make the World Series, Josh has to be Grimace.
The hell can I get? I'd have to buy the Grimace costume
No,
now.
we got somebody who can get you a Grimace costume.
The hell does that mean?
We just trust me on this one. All right.
Okay.
Trust me. I got a Grimace guy.
So New York. College football tonight. Florida International paws up at Liberty. who
libs
just can't seem. Yep, they're massive libs over there. Just can't seem to beat anyone convincingly, but they keep winning. 6 o'clock on CBS Sports Network. It is opening day for the National Hockey League. All aboard the crack wagon, baby.
Oh, thank you.
The Seattle Kraken host the St. Louis Blues at 3:30 for some reason on ESPN. They unfurl a banner in Miami tonight, a place no one should be. They should be leaving Miami. But they will host the Boston Bruins tonight, 6 o'clock on ESPN. And then the Utah Hockey Club gets their first game at 9 o'clock on ESPN. They are hosting the Chicago Blackhawks. WNBA, winner-take-all, Game 5, Connecticut Sun, Minnesota Lynx. 7 o'clock ESPN2, winner advances to the finals to take on the New York Liberty.
Got to get to that Caitlin Clark thing tomorrow.
Just never enough time. And finally, 7 o'clock on CBS tonight, Connor, an Oprah special, The Presleys, Elvis, Lisa Marie, and Riley. Oprah heads to Graceland to sit down with actor Riley Keough, Elvis Presley's grandchild, in her first interview since her mother, Lisa Marie, died in 2023.
Oprah was the person we needed for this.
The only one who could pull off an interview like that.
Okay. Thanks, Josh.
Thank you, Connor.
So we're watching tonight. That's the show. If you missed anything, you could find it all on our website, 1620thezone.com. The crossover is next.